Welcome everyone. Untitled, unfocused. Tyler, Rayman over there
That's me.
with the different lighting situation.
It looks nicer.
Yeah, it looks nice. It's more natural, you know.
It is natural, yeah.
One with nature.
Made it myself.
Um, yeah, man, we got a ton to talk about today. Because not only is it like a double episode, but we actually some promises were fulfilled. Yeah, we got a ton. I think we should actually start with RWBY. I'm actually excited to do that.
Alright, okay, RWBY?
Yeah.
Alright. So I have consumed the entirety of RWBY.
Mhm.
Now let me restate this as well by saying I've already consumed most of RWBY before this. It was just the consumption of season 7 and 8, which I've held back on. And not really on season 7, it's more like I have stopped watching season 7.5 of it. And so I've just done a season and a half of going back in,
Mhm.
diving through it, finishing up, getting caught up, and we're there. We finished it all. In my thoughts, it's a wild ride. Team RWBY really knows what to do with the wild ride. You see, people complain about Team RWBY. The thing is, like, after like Monty and everything, people are like, "There's no way Team RWBY can do." But then you think about it, like half the ideas are Monty's anyway. But he wasn't able to really write. He's more of like choreographing. He has all these cool ideas. So these ideas come from Miles and Carrie and everyone else on Team RWBY, like helping him like get this vision together. So like from the beginning, it's not like Monty's own vision. It's not like Monty was writing the entire show. Just to preface, it's everyone collaboratively doing it together. He was just a visionary, ahead of his time. Something bigger.
Yeah. I feel like the whole "this wasn't Monty's vision" thing is way overblown, and people only say that when there's stuff they don't like about the show. When there's stuff they do like about the show, they still credit it to Monty, but it just doesn't make any sense,
Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna lie when I say like the first 3 seasons probably had some of the best choreography in the entire series, but that's also because that's what Monty knows what to do. Monty is so well at like animating fight choreography, and it's what he did for like a good portion of his career in animating. So it's not really anything to complain about. He was just good at it.
Yeah. I think now, obviously, the animation quality way better. Like the animation quality of RWBY, I think, is one of the best 3D animated things I've ever seen. Aside from maybe like
good.
Yeah, aside from maybe like Land of the Lustrous or something like that.
Studio Orange is a different level.
Yeah.
It's like again, every time I think we talk about 3D animation, we always bring Land of the Lustrous.
Because it's so
like,
good.
Studio Orange is like a step above the rest, really.
Yeah. And then
still no word there's gonna be a season 2, but I mean,
there's gotta be, dude. They have to, man. They finished
Land of the Lustrous is almost done. The manga's almost complete.
Yeah.
It's ending so soon.
Yeah, like the animation quality is way better, and I do think if you watch the fight scenes, there are scenes that, I mean, Monty definitely, like, obviously didn't animate because you can just tell that the flow isn't the same as what he would do,
I do want to pull off one of the better fight scenes, which I think I give credit to Team RWBY on this one. Is again, these are all spoilers we're talking about because we're talking about season 7 and 8. So if you haven't caught up on RWBY,
You should.
because I'm about to go into a really kind of big one that I actually enjoyed watching. The fight between Crow, Clover, and Tyrion.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's probably one of the best animated sequences they've done in a fight in a while.
Yeah, I mean, fighting 3 people is tough too.
And like it's slow, it's so smooth the way like it shows you like what the fight is.
Yeah. Dude, Crow was always set up this way, but he really is like one of, if not the saddest, like character studies of the entire show.
It really is like I'm glad that they're moving away from drunk Crow into more like I'm just broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like even drinking can't fix this anymore. It's like I don't want to not feel the pain. I need to feel the pain.
Right. Which is it does suck though, because the whole drunk Crow thing. You understand it because of his life, but then you realize that that's just his semblance. Like his semblance is bad luck, and it's like there's literally nothing he can do. He tries his hardest to be a good person. He's like a really good huntsman, but
like it's always at the end of it when it matters the most, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he does bring it up that like Ace had like, or Clover had like the like one semblance that he could be around.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yes. It was like, oh,
And it was overpowering him.
Yes.
It was enough to be better than him. And he's like, I can finally have someone
Mm-hmm.
who I'm not like. And then people were like obviously shipping, because I mean that's what they do.
Sure.
Because I mean, but like, you know, to me, Crow was just happy that he could find someone that he could truly be with. Like it wasn't like, I'll use a word here. I'll use soulmates, like in a weird way, but like not because like they're in love, but because he feels that this is someone he could be with forever, and not cause like any problems. He can like truly be at peace here for once.
He took it away. It's awful.
But that's Crow.
That's Crow, unfortunately. So how'd you feel about, you know, because extra context, I obviously have already seen it. I'm the one who's been trying to get Ray to watch to catch up in RWBY forever. Yeah, I don't really remember the order of the seasons and everything, but you know, even if you've already watched this or whatever, how'd you feel about the return of Penny and then the death of Penny?
Well, hold up there.
I feel like her coming back was like a big thing. You know?
Penny's like, it's nice actually, like what they did with her. You're right. You're right when I inquired like what they do with Penny, but it makes sense. And with her arc, Penny kind of completes her arc, where she's like Pinocchio, so she finally became a real girl.
Mm-hmm.
But then choosing to end her life, to give Winter the Winter Maiden.
Right.
I just hate it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's. Everyone joked when Winter was like, when the maidens were revealed, it's like, oh, is Winter gonna be the Winter Maiden? It's so basic of a name.
Sure.
That's the only reason why like I hate it.
It's a little too on the nose.
It is really on the nose.
Well, to be fair though, Cinder is the Summer Maiden, and her name is Cinder. You know?
Yeah, but like she's like Cinderella though. I don't even know what Winter is.
Sure. Okay.
And they touch on that in season 8 anyway. They touch on that, her being Cinderella.
I like how they tried to make us, and I don't know if it worked on you, but how they tried to make us sympathize with Cinder by giving her that episode.
You're not. It's almost like you're not really supposed to sympathize. You're supposed to be like, this is where she came from and why she's so angsty for everything. It's like, we understand very much where you are and why it transformed you, but it doesn't excuse anything you've ever done.
Right.
Because you're still on this path. However, I will say Watts gave it to her so straight, an absolute savage.
Yeah, he basically broke it down to her, like why she keeps losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
We lost Hazel. I mean,
who's Hazel? Which one's Hazel?
he's supposed to be Hansel, the big guy.
Ah, yes, okay. Remember him.
I like that he talked with Oz's, the Ozpin / Oscar, the Oscar. And he said, I tried killing her how many times? It's like, before, it doesn't work.
Yeah, we just couldn't.
And then Oz is like, I know, I tried myself. And it's like, wait a minute. But he's like, but there's another way, though.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at this point, she is pretty OP, right?
She literally is the strongest character. It's just the nature of it. And it took me like until season 8 to realize that he's supposed to be like Hansel and his sister was like Gretel. It took me like however long, like 3 or 4 seasons that he's been in the show to realize that.
Yeah. I mean, I think like everyone's name is like comes from somewhere, right?
I don't even know what Emerald is. Is she like supposed to be a Sonic character?
Maybe, yeah. Is it the Chaos Emerald?
That's why they can't trust things, dude.
Now you have some context for some stuff, though, Ray. Like we mentioned it last time, but now you actually saw Jean kill Penny, right?
It was a mercy kill.
It was.
like she asked him to. They had the warning for suicide and like if you need help. But I feel like every RWBY episode finale should have that.
Sure.
Past season 3.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling well, just call this hotline.
One of the funny things that was coming out as the episodes were airing was, so the second to last episode, right, was where Yang fell off, and that's kind of how the episode ended. And so there's a bunch of memes about how the show was called RWBY now, just W or RWB.
Wait, the entire, just like for reference right now, the entire team like left, or is Blake the only one who lives that we saw, or is everyone like went to the pool?
Yeah, so everyone that happened with everyone, because at the
okay, so everyone in Team RWBY went to the pool.
Yeah, everyone did.
Okay.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing where the second to last episode it was like, oh, it's RWBY, and in the final episode it was just like blank title cards that people were posting. That was funny.
I gotta give them props as well. Like again, we all know the tracks in RWBY are all bangers.
Yes.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
And every opening is just getting better and better, and the animation as well.
Yeah, so good. I saw people posting, we're finally gonna get a beach episode, because they're on a beach.
I like another thing is like when they were having like the broadcast and out, they showed everyone like reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta see like a nice chance at Team Sun again, which is nice to see.
Yeah. I feel like that's one thing that I'd like to see more is like the other characters, because I was just saying, because like I forget what season it was, but we had like the tournament arc, right, where we saw like 100 different characters, and then since then it's kind of dialed down, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. I also understand why they did that though. It's a season 3 has to be like the most ridiculous fade out. Not fake out like of all time. It kind of blows you away with season 3 that they're like, oh yeah, you know, it's like the animation's like still looking decent at the time, nothing really big, and like RWBY's pretty like, you know, lighthearted. You know, you're still going with it. You're like, ooh, all these characters are getting in fights, you know, stuff's happening, and then people are dying. Like, oh.
Wasn't the season that like parents were getting upset because they're like, oh, this was supposed to be a kids show?
Yeah. Well, they never said it was a kids show.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you all just thought it was.
Wasn't that the season? Yeah, with all the people, and that was one where RWBY finally had like her silver eye thing happen at Beacon.
Yeah.
And then like the whole show like reset, because then everyone was like injured, and like Yang left because she was upset about something, and Blake went to
her arm's cut off.
Yeah, her arm got
Blake
cut
got
off.
Stabbed.
You know?
But Blake stabbed in the stomach like always.
Yeah.
Weiss went off like wherever she went back to Atlas. I think I talked about this as well, like the joke that like they kept saying Atlas up there. Like, yeah, it's up north, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, it's up there, isn't it? It's literally in the sky.
Yeah. No, you don't understand.
So like the entire time where Weiss is on Atlas, you don't see. You just see her in like her house.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see her actually like, you know, leaving Atlas.
Yeah.
And so the first time we see Atlas as the viewer is when like literally like Team RWBY is going into Atlas, and they're in Mantle, and they look and they see like Atlas from the chains up, and it's like, oh. So that's like season 7 or season 6 they kind of make that reveal.
How'd you feel about that? Like Ironwood's little group there, little group of
Aesop's they're neat. That's it. They're cool. You know, some of them.
I really didn't like the fast girl. She could run really fast.
The bunny girl's kind of annoying, dude.
Didn't like her. It was like at some point you have to be self-aware to be like, you're like Ironwood, not a good dude. You should stop following him.
You know, I also gotta say this: Ren also leveled up in season 8.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
To sense people's intentions and motives is kind of ridiculous.
He also had that good scene with Jean and
Yang.
Was it Yang? Yeah. I was thinking of the one where he got like really upset. I think it was Nora was there too. Probably. He was just like really upset with everything because he was like, oh, we like just came out of school. We don't have experience.
It was just John and Yang, I think.
Okay, just John and Yang. Yeah.
because like they were the team together. It was supposed to be Oscar with them as well, but then not that. Yeah, Oscar did his thing, where he got whisked away.
Mm-hmm. Which I like. I like that conversation because that happens a lot in anime. Like even if you go back to, shouldn't go back to Naruto. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
If you just think of the tuning exams, so slight spoilers for Naruto, I guess, where it's like they're still in school at that point. You know, like the whole point of the tournament is to rank up officially, and then Orochimaru comes, like the biggest villain, one of the biggest villains of all time, and then these kids have to deal with it. It's kind of like what happened to RWBY, where it's like we never graduated. Like, wasn't it season 8 where they were given their huntsmen and huntresses licenses? And that was like a big moment. It's like, oh yeah, we're finally this. And
It was like either season 6 or season 7,
yeah,
whichever one they gave it in.
And it was like
but it was definitely like before season 7. It was like either start of season 7 or like end of season 6. They gave them the licenses,
okay.
so they're officially huntsmen.
Yeah, which is crazy because they literally never graduated school, and they're like the front team. I mean not just RWBY, like team the other ones as well. Like
Junip.
Yeah, Junip or Junior, I guess now.
Junior, team Junior.
Like, why are they?
Journey.
Why are they in charge of saving the world? Like, aren't there other huntsmen and huntresses that are like Crow's era? You know, that should be. You know, I don't know.
Well, I think the thing like there's like Ozpin's already touched Crow's era, and like they're all like out of there. They're all losing their minds.
They'll have like PTSD.
like Raven's like running away. Crow is like drinking his problems. Iron was like locked up in like Atlas. Like Glinda's the only sane one, but she's like stuck at Beacon, making sure everything's going back to normal.
I didn't really like Winter at first, like her first introduction to the show. But as the show's going on, I think she's probably one of the best characters.
Warms up, yeah. She definitely gets better. Like her first introduction, almost like her fight with Crow, was like pretty stellar on both parts to show them both off.
Yeah. And I think with that, I think that might be a reason why, because at that point, Crow was like the coolest character, and then like Winter comes along. He was hyped
up for so long.
Yeah.
Crow's being hyped up the entire time, like, oh yeah, Uncle Crow, let's go.
Yeah, cause like he's the one that like trained RWBY and all that. Yeah, it was really cool.
It's like he has a scythe, and then he comes out with a sword, and then you see the sword curve, and you're like, oh, is he gonna do it?
Oh my god.
He's like, is he gonna pull it out?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we hold it for next season.
Is it also a gun?
Yeah, RWBY just looked like sees everything Uncle Crow did, and was like, I just want to be this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I just imagine him drinking at the same time, be like, yep, good job.
Good job, kid. Okay, so what about the future of RWBY, Ray? What do you think? What about your any theories you got for season 9, volume 9?
Volume 9, I've already talked to you about it before the cast, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking Neverland or Wonderland would be really dope. I don't know if they could do Neverland because they already did kind of like the crocodile. Did it talk? So I'm not sure how they would deal with the rest of that. They could still do Neverland without Talk. Or maybe they could bring Talk back. I don't know. Talk is supposed to be dead, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, they'll find a way. They can make Tick.
Good. Genius. Yeah.
Yeah, so either Wonderland or Neverland. I don't know any other stories that kind of like pull you into that other world. That are like kind of fairy tale known.
Sure.
Or esque. Maybe Coraline? Kidding.
Who would have guessed that at some point RWBY would become an isekai? You know? It happened though.
It's kind of funny that like, you know, Alice in Wonderland's a great isekai.
Oh, it's great, yeah. One of the best probably.
Iconic.
Better than Sword Art. Yeah, I mean I think next volume, if not the whole volume, definitely the majority of it will be that kind of thing, right? They're in this other world. It's like a side story almost, but you know, by the end of it, they'll learn something.
It's gonna be like probably like hyper meta though, you know, well not hyper meta, but like super like lore driven or whatever.
Yeah.
Where like maybe not much is happening, but it's like, dude, like you're building this world like crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that while like directly, none of their actions will really matter to like the the immediate story. I think that it's gonna be very important. It's gonna build up a lot of stuff.
Hmm. I think people do talk about like the timeline of Ruby as well, like how it takes place like over like season 1 and season 2, season 3, like it's like a couple of years have gone by. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like they're in the school, they kind of like integrate into it, and then like going forward to, like season 4 and on, like it's a pretty like shorter duration of what's happening. Like I think Atlas takes place like within a week or two,
Yeah.
like the entirety of like season 7 and 8.
Hmm.
You get like a couple of weeks, and that's like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because there's a lot to cover, especially with those
Mhm.
events, rather than the beginning where it was just a lot of world building. You know.
Yeah. A lot of world building. Also, like it was more casual, and it was like setting things up. You're like,
Hmm.
these things move like this way, work its way up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest scenes, I guess, early on in the show was remember they had a food fight? That was like a big thing. Oh,
The
man.
food fight episode was hype.
It was cool, yeah.
He was just showing off, it was like just having fun.
Yeah, how times have changed. No one has fun anymore. It's only death and destruction. Yeah, man, so, RWBY's cool. So you watched RWBY, right? But, on my end, on my side of the coin, right, I watched, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Okay. So, spoilers for that as well. I watched the whole thing. Had a lot of time to do so.
I too have watched the whole thing, and I've also read all the manga and I'm caught up. You know the fun fact? The manga's on break now.
I did see that, yeah. I did see it was going on break.
It always happens to me, Tyler, every time.
Isn't there some other one that's going? It doesn't matter. Jujutsu Kaisen was really good. Really good. It was a really good shonen. A lot of really good characters.
It may end up being like what I consider the best written shonen. It's kind of ridiculous.
It probably is. I mean, there's gonna be more. I actually saw it this morning that there's gonna be a movie about that, like Zero stuff. I don't know where that falls in the timeline.
It's only 5 chapters from. The entire Zero manga is 5 chapters. So if you want, you can go ahead and read it. But I mean, the movie's gonna look super good though.
Yeah.
Mappa's kind of pulling out all the stops.
Yeah, I just think it's really good. I really liked. You got another character that like eats something, consumes something to become powerful. That seems to be a trend in shonen, but it happened, and I thought the way they set up all the characters are really cool. They have, they're like demon stuff. That was kind of like their side. The thing that makes like Jujutsu Kaisen kind of stand out. We got Gojo or whatever.
Yeah.
He's coolest character in the show. When I think I kind of mentioned this to you or whatever, but before I watched it, you just see all the memes of people comparing him to other white-haired, anime characters, and the big one was comparing to Kakashi, because like especially with like the eye thing, and he's way better than Kakashi, like 100 times better, 100 times cooler,
100 times more goofier.
Yeah.
Like, Kakashi's goofy, but I mean like. They just push the buttons in the extreme in every single way.
Yeah. The fight scenes are really cool. Like with him fighting the like volcano dude, that was cool. Like it kept ramping up, but like he never lost control of the fight, like ever. Like he was always 10 steps ahead.
Everything he does is a flex. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. I like the relationship between main character and the really big dude.
Oh yeah, Toto.
Toto, yeah, that's cool. How like he like forced him to become best friends with him, but like it worked out in the end, His whole thing is crazy. How like he can switch places with people, switch places with his opponent. That's nuts. That's wild.
It's not like that. Like they explain that's anything that has cursed energy.
Yeah. So it's not only
as long as you an object with it, it's fine. But like all people have cursed energy, so like literally anyone he can swap with.
The panda was really cool. Like when we first meet him, it's like talking panda. That's cool. But then you get further and you realize what he really is and like what he can do, and like he has like the three forms.
Mhm.
That was dope. And like his fight with like the robot thing. That was cool. Yeah, I don't remember how the show ended, so I couldn't tell you.
It ends with them finding one of the other fingers from Sukuna.
Right, yeah, because that's like a whole thing, right? They're trying to find all of them. That was like how the show started, basically. It was.
Yeah, so they find another finger. But like basically the reason why the fingers are going rampant is because Sukuna's awake.
Yeah.
So like the entire time they were like, like sleeping, but now that he's woken up, like they're kind of gone on.
Yeah,
but they don't want to tell him that.
Yeah, that's also a really, really cool thing. Him, whenever Sukuna is brought out, it's like, oh man, it's about to go down, because like he's like all powerful too. Like
Sukuna kind of shows like how great he is. You know what I mean? He knows his like how crazy he is. I like that they don't use him as much in the later half of the season, just to kind of flex on you that like, he's not needed right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, that kind of adds to how mysterious he is, and you're not really supposed to know a whole lot about him. It's not time yet for that. When I forget who they were fighting, but the opponent eventually trapped him in his little area. I forget what they call it. It's like
their domain.
Yeah, domain. Yeah, you finally trapped him. It's like, oh no, when you're trapped, you're dead, right? It's pretty much it. Unless you're Gojo, who can use his domain to overpower yours, and it's all like space and time and whatever. But this one trapped him, but the bad guy accidentally like touched him, so then that was able to establish a connection to Sukuna, and then Sukuna was just like, all right, well you've messed up, now I'm gonna kill you. So
yeah,
that was cool. Is it the same show? Oh yeah, when we met that kid. That's like really weird, and really into horror movies, And he's getting trained by the other dude who has like flesh. I guess that's his thing.
Yeah. And he died.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
I like that the opening kind of like fakes you out, and it's like, oh, he's gonna join. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Anime onlys are like, dude, that's crazy. Apparently in the manga, it was like heavy, like oh, this guy's dead. Anime, you watch it, and you're like, oh, nice, yes.
Yeah, I think with that, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. There also wasn't any like annoying characters, I don't think, from my memory.
Yeah, like even characters that you think are annoying, like Mai, are just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. Because you watch other shonen, and there's always like those characters that pop up, and you're like, just get them off the screen. We don't need these people. I think in My Hero, which I also watched some of, don't really have a lot to talk about it, but Minato, right? He was always one of the characters that's like, get him out of here, useless character. But I mean, with the most,
like one like the best heroes.
Yeah, I mean, with the
like he actually is like a savage.
Yeah, with the most recent episodes, he's not bad. He's become less annoying. I mean, he's still like kind of weird, but he's a lot more useful than I feel like he was in the beginning of the show. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone here. I mean, because like my comparisons are other shonen that I've watched, and then you go back to Naruto, and there's a bunch of characters in that show that I never want to see on screen.
The thing is, like, again, I tie it, like the heavy similarities in Naruto. It really like overlaps super well.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like, even with the because we have a group of 3, right? The other dude, don't remember his name. Oh, it's like Megumi, right?
Yeah.
He's cool, right? He's got the whole like dog thing and like an eagle or something, falcon.
Yeah.
His whole fight with. Oh man, another dude. I don't remember what his name was.
Is it Blood Boy?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was a cool fight because like it feels like they were evenly matched, and then one of the other like demon things showed up, and it was like, all right, well now like we were fighting because we're in the middle of like a tournament, but now there's a real thing here, so now we gotta like join forces, right? And then Megumin saw him actually fight, and it was like, oh, he was holding back when he was fighting me. You know, he's way more powerful than he let on in the beginning, and I just thought that was cool.
And then we learned as well. Megumin's been holding back as well.
Yeah. You know, I think like, especially during that, what was it? It was like a showcase or something, right? It was like a trade showcase.
They did a tournament between the schools, their friendly rival tournament.
I think that everyone was holding back because unless they were fighting our main boy, no one really wanted to hurt each other. But then they had
Toto was not holding back.
Who wasn't?
Toto.
Oh no, well yeah, he's because he's crazy. That's why he just loses himself. You know, he goes all in every day, all day. You know.
I gotta be honest. I don't think Mechamaru was holding back either.
Who's that? Which one's
the
that?
Robot boy.
The robot. Well, yeah, but like that. He's an interesting character because he had beef with the panda. So that's different. He had like personal beef with him that like the panda was like, dog, like I'm not, like I don't know you, like your story is sad, but like I also went through similar things. I'm also a panda. So I feel like it evens out, you know?
It do be like that though. Oh man. What was it? Maki definitely holds back.
Sure, yeah.
She's kind of too savage.
Who's that? What was that?
She's the sister with the glasses.
Okay, yeah.
She holds back.
Mm-hmm. Is she the one with the weapons?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like how that character has kind of become. Wait, no, I don't know if that's the character I'm thinking of, but they did kind of remind me of Rock Lee, because like Rock Lee doesn't have any of the other like Genjutsu or the other one. I can't think of the main one for some reason. Ninjutsu, yeah, I couldn't think of that. Because ninjutsu or genjutsu, he only has taijutsu, right? So like he's, feels like it's a handicap, but he's actually become like crazy because of that, like crazy good. You know, they like hyped up Rock Lee so much in the main show, and they didn't use him at all in Shippuden.
That's the problem. You see, again, like problems with Naruto really have like Shippuden had good moments. Like, let's not lie. I mean, like, we're fans of Naruto, you know. We know.
Shippuden we
overhype Itachi.
Overhype, I think, is the wrong word. Itachi, whether you like it or not, is a top 5 Naruto character, and you can't argue against that.
I mean, he may be my number 1, but I mean, hold on.
Like, objectively, he's a top 5 character.
Yeah, not even like subjectively.
No, not so. Like objectively, you cannot name 5 characters that are better than him. I'm not talking about like more powerful, like power plays into it.
Like, he's a heart of the character. He's like a big heart of the series.
Yeah.
At least in Shippuden, normal Naruto, it's like this guy's a freak.
This guy's a freak. He's gonna kill us all.
His entire family.
He killed his entire family. Who does that?
And then he's out for revenge on his brother, dude. He's like choking him up against this wall.
He obliterated Sasuke. Like Sasuke was so hyped up to be like, nah, Sasuke's like a prodigy, you know? And then Itachi...
Sasuke's like, dude, I got this cool thing called Chidori. And he's like, what was that?
Excuse me? And then he made, he like tortured Kakashi for like 100 years in like 10 seconds, or whatever that was. He put him on the cross.
Itachi's Genjutsu's kind of out of there, dude.
It's what?
It's out there. he's known to be one of the top genjutsu users.
Well, he's also cheating, right?
I mean, Sharingans are cheating, right?
Yeah, but like, that's not even his though.
Well, that one was his.
What do you mean?
It's like the other genjutsu's not his. The one that like he has another one that's not his, where it's being able to influence people without them knowing that they're being influenced.
Sure. I mean, I was only referring to like the extra Uchiha powers that he has. You know, cheating. You know, it's not really. You know.
Shisui and him are like, hey, what up, boy? Take my eye. I'm dying here.
I'm dying.
I'll take it, Shisui. It's like.
Yeah, I don't know. Jujutsu Kaisen's cool. I really enjoyed it the whole time. You know, I wasn't like bored at all.
Of it.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you, like the author doesn't care. He goes full savage. Everything he's like more. We're going hard.
Do we have a season 2 of that announced? Like, you know, I'm
sure.
Season
2 is announced and the movie's announced. Okay. That's why it's exciting. All by Mappa.
Do we know when season 2 is coming out?
No idea. The movie's coming out first.
The movie's coming out like next season or something, or maybe the season after.
Yeah, so movie's coming out. That's a nice small project. Again, 5 chapters. That's pretty good to fit into a movie. And they're gonna put the budget up on that. You're gonna see the kid who's on a field trip.
Okay.
Because they bring him up every now and then. He's like, this guy's on a field trip. He's not here right now. He'll be back for school later.
He'll be back later.
And Toto's like, where's this guy? I want to fight him. And they're like, he's out. He's not here. He's on a field trip. Toto's like, I don't even want to be in this tournament if he's not here.
I want to fight him.
And then he's like, he's Yuji. He's like, I changed my mind.
Okay. So I don't know what we're gonna do next. We can do Earwig and the Witch.
Gosh, I hated it. What?
Did you actually hate it, or was that a joke?
It was decent. Okay. It wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't truly bad. It was just.
Okay, so Earwig and the Witch, right? Movie by Studio Ghibli, their first full 3D CG movie, right? At first, it got a lot of hate.
It's like by who? It was by Miyazaki's son.
Miyazaki's son, Goro.
Okay.
It's a cool name, by the way. Goro. Goro's a dope name. Yeah. So I was very skeptical of it because, you know, Ghibli has a trademark style. You know, in their first few movies, they were kind of finding it, right? Like the actual style of the movie. Then since then, you can, you know, anyone who's watched any Ghibli movies can.
It feels iconic, you know. Yeah, you can watch and be like, "That's you got it, right?"
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as like Disney or Pixar, right? If you watch a movie
it's
of
that
theirs,
household brand, right?
Yeah, like you can see it and notice that, okay, that this is obviously a Pixar movie just by the look of it. So I was very skeptical of it. But I'm interested, right? Because you coming in, you know.
I come in just talking about the narrative. I should be honest. The animation's pretty good, honestly.
It is pretty good.
It reminds me of Lupin.
Yes, it does.
I know we watched that. The animation reminds me of Lupin, and it was pretty well made, honestly. I can be honest. You're gonna hear me say honest a lot right now because I'm just gonna keep drilling into the ground. No, but I looked into it. You know, Earwig is not bad. The movie ends abruptly, but that's because the book ends abruptly, I guess.
Sure.
It just ends at that weird spot. But it felt, you know. The thing is, like, narratively, it's not strong. It's pretty basic. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they've done this before with other things. Gonna kind of point out and go point out like Howls, and then point out the other one they had with like point out Kiki's Delivery Service, stuff like that. You know, feels like, you know, they've already kind of treaded on this. So Earwig kind of feels mute or moot or like kind of basic at this point.
Okay.
Like to dwell on.
Yeah, I got a
couple
questions for you just because of that. So the first one is, you know, because you haven't seen every Ghibli movie. You've seen most of them though.
Yeah.
You know, especially since last time we did clean that up a little bit. We watched like 5 extra ones, I think, or something.
Yeah, watched a good. Again, I haven't watched all of them. I've watched a good amount though, or at least a majority to be able to speak on like the behalf of like all of them.
You've also seen like all the big ones too, you know. So,
yeah.
But my question would be: is this your least favorite Ghibli movie you've seen?
Yes, and it's not even because of the animation; it's literally the narrative.
Okay, so then because you bring up the narrative, is it because you've seen them do something like this before, or because I understand what you're saying, where it's like the way the story is, it is similar to what they've done before, but I feel like half of all Ghibli movies are like slice of life at their core, whereas like Princess Mononoke, it's this whole big adventure, right? But with
or like same with Nausicaa, right? Where like it's like this like epic that's like drawn out, or like Castle in the Sky, you know, those are like their epics that they have built up, and they feel that way.
But then
right?
you have something like Kiki, where again I haven't seen it in a while, so I could be wrong, but I feel like there's no big huge like boss battle or something. It's just like she's
or
just
like
learning.
a Porco Rosso, you know, kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, because even Porco Rosso does have like a big
fight
match,
at the end, but it's
like,
not really about that fight though. That's like played for laughs. Right?
Yeah, and then even Porco Rosso, it's like, oh, it's just I mean, it's weird because it's a pig, but like it's just a dude who flies a plane and he meets a girl, like this young prodigy who wants to make planes too. Like with Kiki, it's like, well, she's becoming a witch, but she's just working at like a bakery and she just delivers stuff, and that's the movie, you know. So I feel like Earwig, again, she wants to become a witch, right? That's like a thing, but
it's like shoehorned in though. It's like forced, right? There's no like she can't leave the house. There's nothing to look at ordinary life.
Yeah,
she doesn't have one of those. Her life was never ordinary to begin with.
That's true. Yeah. Which is interesting because I do get that, where it's because I was thinking the same thing, where I was in my mind comparing it to some of my more favorite movies, like Mononoke or Spirited Away and stuff like that, and Howl's Moving Castle, and like it is a much smaller story, and not a lot happens on like a big scale. I mean, me just bringing my own into it, like I don't think it's my least favorite Ghibli movie. I don't think. But yeah, I do think the whole thing was kind of weird though.
It's like, again, I'm not faulting it. Like, it's not a bad movie, you know what I mean? Like,
no.
We hold it to a different standard, I guess.
Sure.
It is Ghibli.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. It's like it's Pixar again, you know, where we have the.
It's like, is Cars 2 is Cars 2 really a bad movie? Yes, but
it's like, you know, is Cars 3 worse? It shouldn't even be a movie, honestly.
It shouldn't exist.
Like Cars 2, they should have stopped while they had a chance, and they just understood. But they wanted that thing.
Is that merchandise?
Disney they want that merch money, right? Yeah. That's the thing. Merch sells and they get more money off that. Ghibli, it's like, I watched this, you know, again, it's the similar things that they've done, but it's also like, there's nothing special here that there was like in the other ones, right?
Sure.
It just kind of like plays with it, and that's it.
Yeah, because I think
there's interesting stuff here. Like, let's not lie. Like, the entire idea that Mandrake's like a really cool guy, you know, a really cool concept for a character is there. Our main character's really good as well. Like, not even like annoying. Like, they're annoying, right? But like, to a fault where it's like understandable. Like, the witch is pretty basic. The cat felt pretty basic. They weren't really like played with often though. That's the thing. It's like, make them interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where I feel like there was a lot of missed opportunities in this movie. I feel like, and this is something I just thought of, where like the whole like orphanage thing, I feel like that was kind of pointless. You know, it was kind of like a way to set up the movie so that she can get adopted by a witch, and then now the movie starts. You know, and then we also have that setup of like the mom, right? Because obviously that comes back around, but even that doesn't really mean anything in the movie.
It means nothing because there's no connection there, because it just ends abruptly. They want to end it like the book though, so it's understandable. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, if
it's a good adaptation, I'll give it that.
Yeah,
definitely. it's worth.
I think the ending is the weirdest part, where I think we would have looked more fondly on this movie if the ending made more sense. Because, you know, you're saying it ended abruptly. I feel like there's a couple things, right? The first one was, I thought it was weird how the end, she gets all this stuff, right? You know, she's like, you know, she's basically
There's no
like,
real build up to her like getting that, right? It's just that she just gets it.
which I get it was like payoff from the beginning of the movie, where it was like, oh, I never want to be adopted because then I can only control 2 people instead of the 30 kids that are here, right? And it's like, oh, I'm never, you know, I want to control people. That's like her weird kid thing. And then the end, she ends up being in control, I guess, of the Mandrake and the witch and everything. But I just thought that was, it was weird because towards the end, one thing I really liked was you realize that the Mandrake was actually like really cool, you know. Like I was like, oh, he actually cares, and like he's not just some monster, right? Like he's just a dude who likes to, you know, he likes certain things. He likes his hobbies, right? And he doesn't want to be disturbed, which is fair. But he's not some like demon who at any moment could just kill everyone, because he's not really gonna do that.
He just gets really angry.
Yeah.
You don't like him when he's angry.
And you know, it was cool to be like, oh, he cares, and he's gonna get her stuff, and he's gonna get the witch to actually teach her, and then, you know, he says he'll think about giving her school and letting her go to school and everything. So that was nice. But then it cuts, movie soft ends, right? It comes back up.
And it's like a 3-month time skip.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I basically run the house now, and I'm like, that's weird. You know, because I don't feel like that's the relationship that should have been like the conclusion of all that. You know, even if she doesn't really run things, it's just like her 10-year-old mind's perspective on the family. You know, it's like, oh, I run everything. She doesn't really. She's the only child, so she gets stuff.
Yeah, it's more like if they like what you're saying,
yeah,
you got it. Congratulations.
It's still weird. It's still weird though. I just didn't like that. And then yeah, the end where I think you're more referring to, of like, I liked it was supposed to be like Christmas or something, I think.
Yeah.
And her friend finally comes, right, which is great, because, you know, his friend wasn't like a great character in the movie. I didn't really care about him that much, but he was there. He came in. I was like, okay, friend's here, finally overcoming his fear of the Mandrake. And then the mom is there, and I'm like, and then it's like,
for no reason, by the way,
yeah,
other than just to be there.
And like, again, I understand on paper why they did that, where at the beginning of the movie drops her off, said at some point when I'm done, when I've been rid of these 12 witches that are hunting me or whatever, I'll come back, right? You know, this is only temporary. So she comes back in the end of the movie. It wraps up technically, but why do I care about the mom? You know, like we got a little bit of backstory about the band, right? It's like, oh, she left, but she left because of the witches or whatever, which is kind of like a rebellious thing she did, because she doesn't want the witch council to be in charge of her.
I'll be honest with this, she at least did a good thing by leaving her kid in someplace safe.
Sure.
Like the orphanage. You know, that was her one good thing. We haven't seen her do actually anything else of merit to her character.
Yeah, exactly.
In the entire story.
Where it's like, I kind of feel for the Mandrake and the witch and the cat, because sure, we got screen time with them, but they did stuff to make us, oh, I understand these characters a little bit. The mom, we dropped her off, and then end of the movie, we see the backstory of the band, and then she just comes back and she's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, movie cuts, credits, right? But then what happens after that? Like, does the mom go in and everyone's like, oh, you're back, let's all catch up and let's be a family? Like, that's not what happens, right? Because that's kind of lame.
Yo, imagine she said, I adopted this kid.
That would be nuts if that's actually what happened.
It's like this kid, I adopted him, he's mine. It's like, what?
Ooh, hold on. There's some weird stuff going on here.
And then the blue-haired witch said, wait a minute, that's the kid I dropped off at... Yeah, like the witch and the Mandrake, like they like stand up from their seats very abruptly, and like, oh my god, like
Joe? It's like that's the kid that we dropped off. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Donkey, donkey.
For a second, I thought that when we first see the witch walk into the orphanage, I thought that was gonna be her mom, because she had the same hair, just a different color. I was like, oh, that's her way of blending in. Not what happened. But for a second, that is what I thought. Yeah, man, I thought it was fine. That was fine movie. I didn't like regret watching it or anything like that. It wasn't that bad, but I think that it's like a nice first step if they are going to continue doing 3D movies, as well as at some point Miyazaki is going to have to stop making movies. Like at some point we're going to get movies that are consistently not by him because he cannot make movies anymore. So, I think it's good that hopefully we get more and more movies that aren't directed by him, so that they can kind of get that direct experience rather than, always being, directed by the man himself, I guess. Which, like, Goro has done other movies in the past that I'm sure we've liked. I just can't think of them right now. He's done other ones, but that was fine. Yeah. We can talk about Loki. Loki's next.
Ooh,
another big
Loki
one.
was really good.
So, Loki, of course, everyone. New Disney Plus show. We're back on our MCU train. Episode 1 came out, and yeah, I think it's really cool. I think just visually, probably the coolest looking show we've had so far, and I think that the first episode was just a lot of setup for the rest of the show. I think it was really cool how they tried to kind of recap everything for us. Because I think that was the big worry for MCU fans of like, well, this isn't the same Loki that we've seen. Like he hasn't. I think me and you talked about this, but like this Loki doesn't have all the character development from like Thor 2 and Ragnarok and Infinity War and all that. This is still Avengers Loki, trying to kill everyone. But I think they did a good job of kind of recapping everything, and then we even had that really probably the most emotional moment of the episode with him watching all of his life.
He watches his life, yeah.
Yeah, and then he dies. And it's like, oh,
Loki just dies. Spoiler alert, Loki.
Yeah, you die.
You die. Spoiler alert.
So there's actually a bunch of stuff that I'm interested in what you think about this episode, Ray. The first is, did you see, like, as you were watching it, did you predict that they were chasing Loki?
I did assume that based on the stab wounds, but I wasn't certain because they pointed at a demon. Okay. And then after when they confirmed, I'm like, okay, they pointed at a demon because he has horns.
Okay.
And then Loki has horns, and I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all. And then we're like, yeah, we're chasing you, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That'd be why you would want Loki so bad on your team. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, multiple stab wounds. He's a stabber. That's why I thought of it.
He's a stabber. He does do that.
But then she pointed at the devil, and I'm like, Loki's not a devil.
He's not.
It's probably people hyping up Mephisto.
He's just a scamp. He's not. So another thing, Ray, how'd you feel about that scene where Loki had a drawer of Infinity Stones?
It's the funniest. The funniest thing is his revelation that like he imagined picking up the stone and realizing it doesn't work.
Yeah, crazy.
And he stands up and he says, "This is the strongest, most powerful thing in the universe." He says that moment of awe to self-reflect on himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of kind of a deeper, I guess, controversy over this show is that, like, how are they gonna make us care about this world, right? Because in that moment, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff throughout the episode that kind of shows this, but in that moment, it's a very funny scene, right? Because it's like, oh, the Infinity Stones are nothing, they're paperweights, whatever. But we just spent 11 years watching Infinity Stones be hyped up, right? And then we get to the show, Infinity Stones don't mean anything. Now, obviously, they're in a weird time world, right? They're like in a dimension that we can't even perceive, right? But
yeah, this is where, like, obviously it wouldn't work. The timekeepers are like, no, this is set in order, isolated from the rest of the world, its own pool. Nothing can disturb the peace here.
And then, you know, even with that, like, a level above that is, right, the timekeepers, right? And that's the whole thing where, you know, the whole thing that we're trying to drill through Loki's head, where it's like, you're not choosing anything. The timekeepers, flow of time, everything that happens was supposed to happen because time doesn't happen in order, it's happening all at once, whatever, right? That's how time works. So it's like, again, above that, why does anything matter?
Yeah.
You know?
Again, Loki saying that, you know, like, do I have to get approval or disapproval? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it's more like, at least the way I viewed it, and I think, like, this is the way they kind of viewed it as well, it's like, I think for the most part, anything, there's, like, you know, your free will and everything, and that's fine. It's more when that actually interrupts the future events that are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like him being DB Cooper does nothing because he's just being DB Cooper for a bet. It doesn't lead to anything.
Sure.
You know, that's major. It's just, like, you know, one of the many bets he has with Thor and, like, his legends, you know? Where, like, they always have, like, their rivalry in Asgard. So that's just, you know, something of nature. Nothing to it, nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't have anything to actually do anything with the larger scheme of things. To play around with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I don't know. It sounded like I had more, but that's really all I got.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the show ends. I'm sure, like everyone else, that's not really a special thing, but because I just feel that with them going this high up, you know, like this grand scale of a show, of like an idea, because they've already messed with time travel, Infinity Stones, whatever. Not really time travel, well, whatever. But like it's this far up that it's like, now when you watch Infinity War and Endgame, it's like, oh, well, all that was supposed to happen. You know, there wasn't really anything. Like,
no choices were made that were
like how big those events were. We look back and we're like, oh, well, that's just the flow of time. That's what was supposed to happen. So going forward,
again, Doctor Strange is like, you know, 14 million different possibilities of this way going through this.
Sure, but then
so he's looking at all the timelines at once, but he doesn't know which is the concurrent timeline.
Right, which is where it gets weird, and I feel like they're going to do a good job of explaining this, because I feel like Marvel is usually good when it comes to this sort of stuff. But how are they? Right, so we have different outcomes, different possibilities, but does, like, there isn't just one timeline though.
There's like many that branch off, but only one of them is like the true stable timeline. The rest are cut off, or some way to go about that.
Sure. But then what about other dimensions? Like the multiverse.
They can hop in and out of the other. I guess the other dimensions follow the same timeline, or they follow like a separate timeline as well.
Right. Which
there's a multiverse that exists.
Which I think is where it gets confusing, because it's like there is a multiverse, but then there's also a timeline where this was supposed to happen, but then there's a multiverse. So it's like, does that have different timelines? Like, which one trumps the other one?
Yeah.
You know.
They'll touch on that and see.
They have to, you know. They have to.
Obviously, assuming that like the main timeline is the one that's post, you know, Spider-Man, or like post, I guess, Falcon, Winter Soldier, because that's the most current one right now.
Yeah. Again, yes. No. Spider-Man
is the most current.
Is more recent. Yeah, because. Yeah, yeah.
I
No,
assume Falcon Winter Soldier was the most recent.
right. I think I was confusing WandaVision. WandaVision happened like a couple weeks after Endgame.
Endgame, yeah.
But yeah, Falcon. Yeah, I actually don't know about that. Which one's more current, Spider-Man or Falcon Winter Soldier?
Well, only because I'd assume that everyone would know about a Captain America.
Sure, yeah. No, that makes sense. And
I
then
also feel like everyone know about Spider-Man as well, so who really knows where they all fit?
and then even with Loki, it's like time moves differently there, so you can't really even like put that on the timeline right now.
We don't even know where that's going until the end of the show.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like really Loki could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere at all.
So, just some predictions for this show, Ray. Do you think this is going to introduce Loki back into the MCU?
I definitely hope so. And plus, Loki is going to be back into the MCU, which is what we're hoping for. They've also greenlit Loki season 2.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. And so then, yeah, right. Yeah, before it even came out, like season 2, which
They greenlit it already.
Which again, I'm interested to see if Loki does come back to the MCU, because technically he doesn't have to. I mean, this all could just be, because again, this is like so far out of the realm of reality that they could just make a 10 series
Loki could
show.
just be part of TVA. That's honestly it.
Exactly.
He could be just TVA going forward.
Yeah.
Which would be an interesting way to have him be. I mean, it's like Tom Hiddleston likes his character. He likes playing Loki. It's a way to keep him with Marvel contractually. Have Loki have merchandise, to keep going forward. But also you can have him like sneak in and out of like different Marvel like shows and series. Going like that, A great way to keep him. Yeah. It's not a bad marketing ploy.
Yeah, I think they could definitely do that. I think Loki's such an interesting character because in the beginning it was like, dude, Loki, best character, best villain MCU, right? And then we saw more of him and it was like, alright, maybe a little too much Loki. Maybe like we should get rid of Loki now. And then I feel like with Infinity War and Endgame, he's kind of, and then Loki, obviously, the show.
And Thor 3, they kind of like push it like all and like really make him more likable.
Yeah, it kind of looped back around and like, nah, Loki's cool. We more Loki's
it's like
cool.
Loki is, starts off ruthless, as we all, can see,
Mm-hmm.
Wanes down. Goes back around. It's nice. You're right, he gives him all the turnaround,
It's also like, we're also seeing, obviously as the movies have gone on, we've seen more and more of Loki, right? And we've seen more of just like, he's not just a god of mischief. Like, we've broken him down, especially with all of his scenes with Thor and everything like that. But this show, there was one of the best scenes of the show was where, after he watched everything, Owen Wilson, which again, shout out to Owen Wilson. Great actor, great character in the show. Amazing.
Cannot wait for the WoW to happen.
It's got to happen, right?
I feel like it's contractual.
It's contractual.
Every movie, it's in the contract. You must say WoW at least once.
I like the idea of like it being that vague though, where so like Kevin Feige wasn't like, here's where you have to say it. He was like, no, at some point in the 6 episodes you gotta say it. So like when we hear the WoW, we'll know it's improv. We'll know that Owen Wilson decided that that's where he had to say it. Yeah,
it's like you read the script, you fit it in wherever you want.
Yeah,
as long as we get a WoW. You can put a WoW in every line. We'll pick the cut that sounds best.
It'd be like torture to have to be the editor. How many times?
It's like vote for the best WoW from Owen Wilson and Loki. We need your opinion, guys. What's the best one?
I like that scene where so he watched everything. He's like super sad and Owen Wilson comes back in. He has the stick. He's very cautious, but like he brings the line back around. I forget what it was, but it was like how he is just a god of mischief and he uses these tricks to incite fear in people, right?
These acts of violence make him appear bigger than what he actually is.
Yes, which is funny because when he first said that line in the show, he was referring it to other people, right? And he was like, "Oh, I'm here to liberate all that." Then in this scene, you realize he was talking about himself, and like he is. I think that's one of the biggest things about the Loki character is you always wonder how self-aware is Loki of himself. You know, like how much does he know who he actually is, and like how he's perceived of like he's the bad guy, but no, he actually likes Thor, and then he tricks Thor, and then, you know, like how much does he choose to do the bad stuff that he does, and then how much is it like a facade, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this show is going to play with that a lot because we've already seen it in the first episode, especially with him watching his own death, and like him watching his dad's death, and him watching the moments where him and Thor were like cool with each other, and like he was like smiling and like crying of like, you know, I think deep down Loki really does care about these people. It's just he is the god of mischief.
It's it's the facade. He can't show that yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He even referred to himself as like, I am the villain. You know, because in the beginning of the episode, he didn't want to think that, because Owen Wilson was like, no, you're the antagonist. Like, you are here to make other people look better. And Loki was like, no, that's not true. But then by the end, it's like, no, I am the villain. Like that's my role. Like, it almost got meta with it, you know? It's like, oh,
like, he knows what he's doing, you know? Like, he's playing these pranks, these tricks, you know, hurting all these people to be someone bigger than he actually is. It's for the illusion.
Yeah, it's very weird, but I really like it. I'm really to see what they actually do with this show, because I feel like, again, Loki is the bad guy. Mess with that at some point. I think you've already mentioned, like, talking about like free will, like how they're playing with that in the show. But then, just like the other moments with just the Loki character, like, where are they actually gonna go with him?
I feel like they actually are setting him up for that God of Mischief role. Like, no longer is he, like, going to be, like, a main antagonist. He's actually becoming that trickster god that we kind of ideal him to be.
Yeah.
Like, at least, like, with the development we've got for Loki now, he's not menacing as he was, you know? We thought of him as, like, cold-hearted, you know? Out for blood, wanted to just rampage the entire world. He's shown his emotion now. He's peeled back the layers. He's let himself become vulnerable.
I think that's fair, though. You know, I feel like, obviously, the longer we've stayed with the Loki character, we know his backstory. Like, we know that he wasn't really Odin's son. You know, he was a frost giant's son, and, you know, so I feel like early on Loki has every right to be upset and like feel like an outcast in his own family, because he is, essentially, you know.
Yeah, he just wanted retribution, wanted something of his own.
I think he also just...
Like, you're right. Nothing was truly his in his eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, this was given to me.
Yeah.
I never earned this. I was adopted into this family. This is not my family. It was given to me. Being Odin's son is not my own title. That's given to me as well. You know, nothing was his by birthright.
Mm-hmm.
It was all just handed to him. So when he finally wanted something to take, decided to take it for himself the only way he knew how. War, you know?
Wasn't Stan Lee a timekeeper?
No, he's a watcher.
Watcher. That's what it was. Okay, never mind then. Yeah. Also, Stan Lee. I mean, I didn't see this in the episode. I saw it in like screenshots or whatever. They did have a Stan Lee cameo. He was like, on like a mural or something in the one TVA office.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Which is kind of how they're doing Stan Lee cameos now. I think in Falcon Winter Soldier, wasn't like a license plate that said like Stan Lee or something like that?
I don't remember.
And then I think in WandaVision, was it like a newspaper article, I think? I don't remember.
I have no idea. I stopped looking for cameos, to be honest. Maybe I should go back and look for them. I still think, that, speaking of cameos, the best one's got to be Spider-Verse. In my opinion, for the cameo.
I actually don't remember that one.
It's he's the shop owner who's selling the Spider-Man costumes.
Oh yeah, okay, I do remember that. I gotta watch Spider-Verse again, man. I've only seen it once.
It really is one of the best animated movies of all time.
It really is. Like, it's not overhyped at all. You know, it's exactly where it should be.
Yeah, he has like one of the best cameos there. Like, what is he saying? Like, you know, like he's like, the suit's too big, it's not gonna fit, and then he says something like, oh, it'll fit, like one day it'll fit, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or it'll fit eventually.
Yeah, you'll grow into it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a real powerful scene, but yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Donkey, a dinky donkey.
Let's talk about we still got a lot to talk about, right? Let's talk about Inside.
Okay, so my thoughts on Inside, I'll be very brief with them.
Okay. So wait, hold on. So Inside, anyone who doesn't know, Bo Burnham's new special, Inside, it's on Netflix. It's like an hour long, hour and a half maybe.
I recommend you to go watch it. I recommend everyone to go watch it.
Yeah.
It's a Bo Burnham special. I wouldn't call it a comedy special.
Not a comedy special.
It is an artistic film, is what I believe it to be.
There's okay, so just real quick before we get into it, I just want to talk about, like, it's not even about Inside. There's Netflix with its marketing of this thing. You know, I keep seeing videos on like Twitter or whatever. It's like the sponsored video. Oh, here's promoted. It's like promoted, whatever. And like they pull quotes from like publications, you know, reviewing the thing or whatever. And so many of them are like, this is laugh out loud funny. And I'm like,
who thought it was funny? Like, I mean, like, I had some friends who laughed at some of the jokes, you know, not a good amount of them.
There are jokes,
but like they laughed at some of them, you know, and I'll be like, yeah, some of them are funny, but like I don't think it's laugh out loud funny.
No,
this Burnham's being serious in this special.
Yeah,
for the most part.
There are a lot of funny moments in the special, but it's not like I'm not like laughing throughout it. You know, like his other specials, which I did after watching this one. I went back and I watched his most previous two, like it was What and then Make Happy. Those are really good specials, but it's very different than what this is. Yeah, Ray, go ahead. What are you saying about Inside?
Yeah, so I think it's artistic. It's a great. Burnham's flexing, by the way, with this because he's done everything by himself.
Yes.
Which is crazy. It's a big flex. So from lighting to like special effects, to the camera work to the editing, it's all him. Like even the audio, it's such a flex. It really is. And he plays with it so much. It's insane how talented he is. He really has grown. It's another thing to point out that like this guy is like one of the pioneers of YouTube.
He is, yeah.
You know,
that's where he got to start.
And he's broken out now. He's broken out from there. He's talked about it before, his depression and how he thinks that he's like, you know, what type of syndrome is it? I forget what it is, when like you don't feel like you're imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Or he feels like he doesn't deserve this fame. But he proves yet and yet again, like 8th grade was a hit.
8th grade was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah. And he proves it again with Inside that he's like actually talented. And he doesn't like, you know, it's a big thing that does affect him.
Yeah, so I do want to get into some of the segments in the show because there are some really good ones. But there was a segment in there where, I mean, there was many segments in the special where he got very real and like, again, it's not comedy. He was literally just talking to you, right? And you know, it's actually very similar to like what Dave Chappelle does nowadays, where Dave Chappelle doesn't tell jokes anymore. he just talks to you.
He has like 1 or 2 jokes, but it's like mostly him just talking. But that's what you're there for. You want to hear Dave Chappelle put like a somewhat comedic or dark humorous spin on the story.
Yeah.
He'll get real, but he'll have like some jokes hidden throughout it, which kind of keep you riled in.
And Bo did kind of touch on something where it's like his last special was like 5 years ago or something, which Bo Burnham fans very sad because, you know, we like his stuff, but he talked about why, and he was like, yeah, I forget what exactly he said, and but it was something like he got depressed whenever he would perform, like he couldn't actually perform in front of people because it like changed him or whatever. So he said, it was about 5 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, he told himself, he was like, I'm never performing again, I'm never getting on a stage ever again. And he didn't.
And he was scared of it. Yeah, he was frightened.
Yeah, he didn't. And then finally he made this special. And granted, he didn't go on a stage, but he talked about in the special how he got over that, and I mean he had to work through it, of course, but how he finally had enough courage where at the beginning of the pandemic, obviously before it started, he said he was going to perform again. He was going to get on stage and perform again, and the pandemic hit, and then he couldn't, and then that kind of just, you know, didn't like put him back.
It became inside, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, it was really good. You know, I think that again, yeah, this isn't a comedy special, but I think there's a lot of stuff here that maybe not every single person who watches it will like be moved by it, but I think a lot of people will. A lot of people already have.
He gets real, you know.
Yeah.
He talks about his personal stuff, and you can see like his self-worth is something that does bring up like subliminally.
Mm-hmm.
It brings that up. He may not like speak about it up front like quite often, but like he'll put clips in every now and then that kind of show you his thoughts on the special or how he feels, or
yeah,
it gets kind of meta with it. You're not sure if it's actually him or if he's acting it out for the special.
Yeah, I mean there was moments in there where, I mean, he would even give updates where it's like, yeah, I've been working on this for 6 months. I thought I would have been done with it by now. Honestly, there's even the one moment where he said, yeah, you know, I think I've decided I'm just never gonna finish this, because once I finish it, then I'll have to put it out, and then I'll get feedback, and then I'll be done. And then not only will I be done, I won't have anything else to do, and I'll just be inside in a home with nothing to do. So you know, I'm just never gonna finish it. So right now, I'm not even talking to anyone, because no one's watching this. And it was kind of funny, but it was you know, a reflection of him in quarantine, where it was like he's doing this because he's going crazy. So if he has to finish doing this, but he still can't go outside, he's gonna go crazy. You know, so you know, that's why he worked on it for so long. There was even a clip in there, I think it was towards the end, I think it was like the last third of it, where it was just a clip of him being very frustrated, and he threw his chair over or something. He got really mad, and he walked, and there was no dialogue there. It was just a real moment of him being frustrated with whatever he was doing, like he thought it sucked or whatever, and he was very depressed over it. And I was like, he didn't have to put that in, you know.
It's like that's one of the clips I'm talking about. Like we don't even know if that's like scripted or if that's like him being real.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a scripted thing to you know, to further, but or if it was
that narrative, right? It's so in your head. It's ridiculous how well it's made.
Yeah. And I mean, it is like, he does have some interesting stuff to say, not only about himself, but like, I really like the one where he had the sock puppet. I like that a lot, because it was like, oh, the world is great, and he was like singing about how good the world is, and then the sock puppet comes in, and it's like, no, here's how the world is actually run. It's like, yeah, that's all true. Like, there's genocide and capitalism and all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, everyone watching this should believe that, because, you know, world kind of sucks how it's running everything. And he spoke a lot about like the internet, right, and how, I forget what segment it was, but he kept talking about how it's crazy how the internet and social media are just a product of everyone wanting to perform. And so now everyone gets to perform, and they get to give their opinions on everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone gets to do it, you know. And that's why social media sucks, is because everyone gets an opinion, and not only opinion on some things, an opinion on literally everything that happens, which is true. You know. There's something else too. I don't know. I also really like some of the YouTube stuff that he was kind of making fun of. He did like the streaming thing,
react.
And then the reacting thing.
Those were good. Pretty good ones.
It was a nice little interstitial.
Like, I think I'm really getting this game.
Oh yeah, the one where he was playing the game, and it just kept you just like hit A to cry. Oh, he seems to be stuck here, and that was really good.
Nope, can't stop walking that wall.
He said, nope, can't. Oh, you can't do that? He said, oh man, I really wish games wouldn't just give you a hint right away. Give you a little bit of time to figure it out yourself. Yeah, and then, I really like the end too, where there was like a real, now that I'm just thinking more, because I watched this, I don't know when you watched it, but I watched it like a week and a half ago. I'm just now like remembering a bunch of stuff, and there was like a lot of really sad songs.
Yeah, I think I watched like a week ago, I think a week ago. I planned on telling you when we were last going to record.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Like a lot of really sad stuff they talked about in this, like, again, like him, I don't know, I can't even get into it, but I do realize the ending, where it was the last song of, like, I think it was one about him, like, performing, and, like, I mean, he's talked about it forever, but it's, like, him performing about performing, and all those struggles, but then it went, like, the montage of some of the, like, BTS of him, so, like, him setting up, like, him laying down, putting the flowers on his eyes, or, like, him checking the lighting and everything to make sure it goes right. I thought that was cool too, because this whole special was inside his own home. You see him setting up. It's very amateur at the core, but it obviously has a very professional look to it. And then you go even deeper with the end, where he shows us of him actually setting everything up. That was really cool too.
Like at the end, like he does, like, not only that, it's like the last song, but it's like the mashup of like everything in the special as well.
Yeah.
Like he blends it all together.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, like this is like the end of all of it. It's like...
Yeah, and then you have the very end, which I don't know if I understood it.
He's like locked out?
Yeah, where he was finally able to get outside, and then he couldn't go back in, and it was almost like he was on a stage, because then there was people like clapping and whatever.
Again, like
it's probably very metaphorical.
I feel like it's a laugh track, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
sure.
It's done purposely, like at a theater or like a stage.
Yeah.
And like he locks himself out and it acts like, it's the worst thing. And like everyone's laughing at his misery.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. It's very, it's a special that I definitely am gonna watch again. Part of me doesn't want to, because it is very sad. But I do have to watch it again. It's
really big, right?
Yeah. I also
I want to meet those people who said, like, yeah, it's like all those laughs. I want to meet the person who wrote that.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was quite a few funny moments, but it was not something that I was laughing throughout the whole thing.
Like, I think I laughed at a couple. I laughed at White Woman Instagram. I laughed at the corporate branding. I laughed at what was it when we touched on the sock puppet? I did laugh at, because I was like, yeah, it's kind of.
There's a ridiculous concept. Yeah.
I laughed at the gamer, and I laughed at this reaction streamer.
Yeah.
But like that's it though. I didn't really like laugh at anything else there.
Yeah, and like even in those segments, you may not have been laughing throughout the whole segment. It was just like a laugh or two here and there. Whereas again, if you go to previous Bo Burnham specials, it's like the whole song you'd be laughing through it, because it's just like a bunch of punchlines and
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the thing that probably got me laughing maybe the most was the reaction, but that's because it just kept getting ridiculous.
Yeah. He said,
and he's being like
so
super
right
hyper meta with it.
Yeah. Right here, see, so I'm reacting to the reaction, and it's actually pretty self-centered. Like, I don't know why I did it. He just kept going further and further with it. Yeah, it was good.
That may have been like the best joke, because like he just kept pushing at it and like pulling himself apart and really getting at the seams.
Mm-hmm. So another just quick thing here, Ray. I do just want to throw it in there. I did watch Nobody, the Bob Odenkirk movie. I don't really have a lot to say about it.
It was good.
Not really a whole lot to say. I thought it was good. I do.
Yep, nice.
It is one of those things where I do personally think that every John Wick movie is better than that movie. But I thought it was cool. It was fun. It was a few different fun action scenes here and there. It did remind me of like a mixture of John Wick and what was the Denzel Washington, the Equalizer? I mean
Yo,
that as
let me
well.
not lie to you, dude. I saw the Equalizer recently.
Yeah,
I understand completely.
yeah. Equalizer's cool. I did like the first one more than the second one though. The second one was a little.
I haven't seen the second one. I've only seen the first. Same
still-
with John Wick. I've only seen the first one.
No, that's right. But yeah, I didn't really have a lot to say about it. It was cool. It was fun action scenes.
It had the RZA.
It did have RZA. Yeah, I remember hearing about that RZA was like, I think he was like helping produce it or something. I was like, oh, that's cool. Might hear some music here. And then he was in it in the end, and I was like, wait, he's in the movie? that
his
was
voice
crazy
was
to
in the
me.
movie for like a larger amount of time, but
Yeah, as his voice was there, but like when he actually showed up and like he was fighting and stuff, I was like, this is nuts. Yeah, it was a cool movie. I don't really have anything to say about it. Just it was fun.
Yeah, soundtrack was good. Fight sequence was good.
Yeah.
Sort of believable situation. You know how they set it up, and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good for an action movie. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's nice.
What
It's pretty self-explanatory. You watch the movie, it comes off like it feels nice the way it comes off. Nothing there feels too unbelievable or too much in the spectrum of disbelief on how they're portraying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it was more grounded. I mean, it was still ridiculous, but like, you definitely believed it was like, oh, it's just old CIA dude who he just really wants to get back in it, no matter how much he wants to try to hide it. You know, wants to get back in that life. Let's see what else we got. We got. Why don't we finally go to our anime, Ray? Get that out there.
So I ruined it, guys. I ruined anime.
Yeah, Ray is now staggered the schedule.
I ruined the anime segment. I ruined the segment. So I will stress. Episodes 9 and 10 for The Box and SNAFU. And episodes 7 and 8 for Eternity and Revengers.
So, let's start with the older ones, Ray, just because they
Well, not 9 and 8. It's 7 and 8. My
7
bad.
and 8.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
I will say for next time, we're also going to be doing and covering 11, 12, and 13 when we get back to Box.
Yes.
To wrap it all up.
Is SNAFU also 13 or is that 12?
I think it's just 12, so it's going to be 11, 12. But for Box, it's going to be 11, 12, and 13, just to finish it all up.
Yeah.
Wrap it all up. Get it all sorted, but do the can thing again.
So for...
I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld.
Have you?
A lot of Seinfeld. Like for the past week, I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld.
Ray, there are shows happening right now that you could be watching, but you're watching like a 2-decade-old show.
Seinfeld, I'll say it this way, is like the ultimate setup for a brick joke in every episode.
Yeah?
Every episode is built for that brick joke. It's like built up and it just gets more and more ridiculous as it goes on. And the characters are so great because they're so with and against each other. Like, Jerry's like all by himself. Like, Elaine is like all selfish, only wants to like get like a good relationship with a man. George is just suffering in pain. And Kramer's just a wild guy.
Mm.
Yeah.
So... yeah,
A lot
it
of
is
people
crazy.
identify with George.
It's crazy, yeah. So... To your eternity, right?
Yeah.
I don't really think I have a whole lot. They're at the brewery, right?
Yeah.
It's like a big thing.
It's a 24 episode or so.
Yeah. It's 20.
20?
Yeah.
Is it really 20 episodes?
Yeah, it's 20.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's not really going to build much. I mean, like, there's a lot of stuff they got to go through, and it's...
Yeah.
For a midpoint in the season, it's still not anything. It's like only the second arc.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. We got the brewer, we got the kid with the helmet, getting outcast, and he gets mad, and it's like whatever. And then
just setting up pieces right now for the second arc. Really, that's all that's happening.
Yeah, it's not really. I don't really have anything to say. It was cool. A lot of setup for whatever they're transitioning to, basically.
Yeah, but the biggest things really is that Fushi is like becoming more independent, and I guess we'll see that development in the future.
Right. Yeah, I think that the old lady was like, "Oh, you're becoming human very quickly." You know, and it might not be good. Might not be a good thing that he's becoming human.
And like again, the reason why she wants Gugu to do it is for him to like grow Fushi, so he can learn not only to rely on her, but to rely on other people as well, and to go out and make friends and all that stuff, which is a big brain idea, to be honest.
Yeah. And then Tokyo Revengers.
Yeah, man, Draken is still on the death list.
He is, yeah. He still
He's
got that
not
red flag.
Draken is like one of the coolest characters.
He is, yeah.
No joke. Like Draken and Mikey are both really cool. Let's be honest.
Oh,
the
yeah.
reason why they're like they're great.
I didn't really see that coming. Where they were fighting, and they made up, and then I was like, oh, we're good, and then it was like, oh, some of the followers though, they're upset, and I was like, God, you followers, you gotta ruin everything.
Yeah, it's like, no, Mikey was right. We need to kill Draken.
I said, no.
They already made up. Stop. They're good. Some followers don't really be following.
Yeah, right. Some followers don't follow.
I always like, after going into like what we looked at, dude, what I looked at for like like the seriousness of like Japanese bullying and like crime among like the youth and adolescents.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not surprised they actually have duct tape on him, just like straight up like, get this man out here.
Yeah.
They could have killed him.
They could have.
It's crazy.
It was raining. What if he flipped over and he drowned? You know? What if what's this girl's name? Is it Hina? Is that her name?
Yeah, I guess we'll roll with that right now.
I don't know what it is. It is now. What if she never showed up? You know?
My man would just lay there like dying.
What if he got
He would
hungry?
have died.
What if he got hungry, starved to death? That'd be on you.
He ate his duct tape.
He ate the duct tape. They got caught in his throat, suffocated, died. He died twice.
I'm not gonna comment on that one. It's real basic, honestly. At least these episodes. I like that it's building up, though. It's not bad. I like that Hina also sees the other girl's not a threat to her relationship.
Yeah.
Like, as we all know, she's only a threat when he's not in the body.
Yeah. That is exactly how it works. Yeah. Well, I mean,
as long
also,
as he's there, it's not a threat.
They also like know each other more now, though. You know, like, that was a big thing where like Hina had the whole conversation with her. They become kind of friends, and like she knows why she does that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
she just wants to get with Draken.
Yeah, like she loves Draken so much. It's like, but like Draken is like an idiot, or he doesn't like he doesn't really realize everything.
He may just not even care.
It's true too. Yeah.
It's more like, like, this Mikey guy's an idiot, I gotta take care of him. And she's like, what about me? It's like, you can take care of yourself. This Mikey guy's gonna die without me.
Also, like, bringing like 200 people to fight 4 people. Come on.
I don't understand how they thought they could mess with Mikey. I mean, honestly. Man's like crushing like adults.
Mikey is a savage. He let them beat the one dude up. That was like a whole pride thing, right? He's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then he just walked over. He just standing up. He just kicked that dude in the side of the head. It's like, we cannot mess with this man.
I mean, I gotta say it every time. Like, they obviously didn't see the Mikey flashback. If they did, they would have known.
You obviously didn't see episode 5 of Tokyo Revengers. You gotta go back.
You gotta go back, watch that episode, come back here. You would have walked away.
You would have walked away.
You wouldn't even be here in the first place. The moment you saw Mikey walk up, you'd be like, we're good, family, drop everything, we're gonna leave, it's alright. It's like, we all can take Mikey, can you though? Like, he walked into a middle school by himself.
He did
Took out the adults. They made a bridge of bodies. They obviously haven't seen the previous episodes. They gotta watch it.
They obviously haven't done their homework, Yeah, it's like you said. Yeah, it's cool. They could, they're kind of building it up. Again, episode 8, right? So we're gearing towards the last few episodes of the show. So see exactly what happens. See if the events still play out. Hina still dies.
There's probably like a season 2 or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. And SNAFU. Right.
I watched SNAFU, dude. Let me be honest, dude. Like every time I think we say it at the same time every time we watch SNAFU. It's just like, damn, dude. If only like we watched it when it came out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we would have liked it a lot more.
It just feels so plain now. It's so awful.
Yeah, I mean, I like it from like a structure standpoint. Where like, it's like you said, right? If we watched it when it first came out, would have liked it more because there's been so much since then, that has done what it's done, right? I like the whole on the committee kind of thing, on that arc, the festival. We're not sure what main girl's doing, where job is. She's getting a lot of pressure put on her. Then we have the other girl who like wanted to be the chairman, right? She sucks.
It's more like people want their cake and they want to eat it too, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I want to be chairman, but I want to have none of the work being associated with a chairman.
Exactly. Which I feel like in the beginning she wanted work, right? Like, she was kind of mad that the girl was taking stuff from her. Then she was just like, yeah, just do everything. And I'm like, you're not the chairman. You gotta, chairman does stuff.
Yeah, it's even more insulting where she's like, just take the stamp and stamp at it.
Yeah, which is like, maybe from her perspective, that's like, she even said, she's like, oh, I'm delegating. I'm like, that's not quite what delegation is. You're just...
What you just said is that she can do everything for you, but like at this point, with all the work she's doing, she is the actual chairman.
Yeah, like, oh, here, just do it. And it's like, that's not how it works, though.
You're just a chairman in title only. You do nothing.
Yeah, in title only, exactly.
You come into the meetings late. You don't act. I don't even see her actually doing work.
Which, like, again, I think she has a fine explanation for why she comes late. She's helping the class, right? Like, you still have a responsibility.
She's like, doing stuff like to help the class,
Right, because she's
the committee
part
comes
of the
after the class.
Yeah. But then you coming late, you coming in, being like, oh, here, you stamp it, and then leave. Like, you were here for 5 seconds. You have no idea what's going on right now. We could be plotting a mutiny, and you would have no idea. Literally no idea.
We could just overrun the school, right?
It's like, no, see, well, it wasn't our, see, no, okay, listen. So we plot the mutiny, right? But it was her fault. She's the one who planned everything. Look, it has her stamp on the thing. We push all the...
She elected to remove a day of school and just to reduce the hours and like increase lunch times. Are you really gonna? It's right here. They had her stamp, dude. She said, and I quote, like, racism is allowed.
Oh my god.
She said, I know who's in Paris.
It's awful. So no, I like the idea of like all that happening and like them going to the principal, and the principal says, I mean, it's not like her, but it does have her stamp.
But who was in Paris?
So with Megalo Box, right?
Yeah.
Right, he got in. That's great. Right, Joe.
I actually like that. Like, for the episode, they just cut you right into the ring. They don't even like give you like any like catch up that they normally would do. It's like, no, we're in the fight now, straight up, starting.
Yeah.
You don't even get to see the build up for this.
Yeah, I mean, we finished watching him fight the brother, beat the brother, right, and then we saw what's his name, Yuri fight the spider, just demolished him, right?
Bow.
Yeah, uppercut, hook, dead. Which is cool, I'm interested to see what happens with Joe's next fight to see what, you know, exactly the outcome of that is with the whole situation. But like,
Yo, Joe's not throwing. Joe's
no.
swinging.
Yeah, he's that like
He
really
wants to
sucks.
go to the top.
That, like,
Imagine being told you gotta throw the fight. It's like, no, Joe can actually win this though.
yeah, and like also after all this time, like that's where we came from. Joe always hated throwing fights because he knew he could win.
Mhm.
And then to make it all the way to Megalonia and then be like, dog, you gotta throw this fight. What?
I mean, if you said dodge the final fight, that's more believable. I mean, yeah. But you're telling me you think he has no chance?
Yeah, he can definitely win. I mean, I don't know if he can win against Yuri. I mean, it's anime, so like he'll probably win. Like there's a good chance he's gonna beat Yuri. But like with this fight, I feel like he's gonna win. You know?
He's got a good chance, you know.
I mean,
The odds are in his favor.
they are in their favor. You know? He could
And they
win.
don't even know it's like episode 9 or 10, dude. Come on. He's got 3 more episodes.
Yeah, I mean, that really sucks that was the twist, right? That he was like, oh yeah, I made a deal. You gotta throw at least one of the fights. Like what?
To be fair, though, it makes sense that would be the deal, though.
Yeah. Just
It
like,
doesn't come as a surprise. It's more like, oh.
mhm.
It's like I'm not surprised it happened. I'm just shocked you would go there again.
Like they'd make more money or something, but like, what if he wins? Like, wouldn't that be the like? We'll just let him win.
But it's probably the yeah. It's like the chances of him actually winning like Megalonia is like so low. You know, I guess compared to Yuri, that it's like you would either want him to either win on this fight, but then wouldn't it make more sense for him to throw the last fight?
I think I understand it though, because with the way like betting works, like the odds.
No, you're right.
The
You don't want to throw a fight that you already know you're gonna lose.
Yeah, which again,
'Cause
if
they're
he
not gonna get much.
wins, it's gonna be a crazy, like the bag is gonna be crazy, you know.
Right.
But with this
But like
one,
for something you're already losing, though, you already know that's like. But for a fight that you have a good chance of winning,
yeah,
if you throw that fight, then you're making much more money off of that than you would just for winning normally.
exactly.
It's rigged. It makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I think that we're both probably in the same mindset, right? Where he's not gonna throw it. He's gonna fight. He's gonna win because there's 3 episodes left, and he's gonna fight Yuri. And I mean, yeah, we're watching the rest of the show next time. So, I mean, just predictions for the whole rest of the show. I definitely think he's gonna beat Yuri. And I think that is gonna have a lot to do with Yuri having respect for him. You know, because every time Yuri watches Joe, or anytime Joe is brought up, Yuri doesn't talk bad about him. He's just like, nah, you don't want to mess with him. Like he's pretty good. You know.
I think it's also a thing where like he also calls himself like a wild dog at one point.
He does.
Like Yuri understands Joe
Yeah, he does. I mean,
because he
one of my favorite scenes of the whole show so far was, I think, in the last episode, where Joe sees like a dog. He's like, oh, cute dog, and the dog ends up being Yuri's. And then Yuri and Joe just talk about like boxing and about like what drives them, and it's like there's no weird motive here. Like they're not trying to outshine the other one. They're just having a real conversation between 2 people.
and he's like, Joe, why you fight without gear? He's like, I like the thrill of death.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's kind of weird, man.
I want to step in the ring and know I might die. So, whoa, hold on, this is
kind of weird.
a sport.
But I understand where you're coming from, though.
Yeah, and then like you do kind of understand Yuri a little bit too, where he's like, well, that woman saved my life, so now I want to repay her for that. It's like you gotta kind of respect that. You know, he's not just doing it because he's just like a machine, right? You know, it was just groomed. You know.
Yeah. It's like she made me who I am today. This is me just continuing the favor.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, that.
You don't often get that way, though.
What?
It's nice for like this friendly rivalry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, not yeah. I do like it where every so often you do watch a show and it is a friendly rivalry. It is Pokemon, you know. It's like they're not trying to kill each other. They're just both love their sport. They both just want to win, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll be going all out at each other, and like they may die in the process. But I mean,
It
they're
wasn't
not doing it because they
intentional.
want to kill each other.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's Toto all over again, dude. This is like, this is my brother. We gotta
They're
go
gonna be
all out.
brothers. You remember? You know, just jumping back to Jujutsu Kaisen, just 1 second. You remember when Toto was having fake flashbacks with him and the main character of like, oh, dude,
My brother, because he's watching it as well. He just saw that episode last night.
Yeah.
We had to watch it like 2 more times. Let me, because it was just so good.
It's good. It's real good.
Oh, he like asks out like the idol,
Yeah.
and she tears up his letter and says, "I like someone else." And then he talks back to you, and he's like, "You think that someone else is me?" It's like, dude.
It's like, no, I don't. I really.
The amount of like rolling that went there. Oh man. It's like, I'm gonna get the coach to ask her out, dude. She's gonna say no. She's gonna reject you. Now watch me, dude. It's like tears up the letter. Not even reading it. Just tears it up. It's like, I like someone else.
It's really good. Dude.
And then you come back and say, is that me?
I mean, just, you know, he's a good guy, man. You know, he's great. He's a great addition to the show.
My favorite thing is that he loves his idol, and he's like, "Yo, Ma, you gotta come meet her. You gotta come. I got 2 tickets." He's like, then she's like, she knows now. She understands. She's like, so this is what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I just imagine like the fanfics where like he just buys her merch. He's
Sure.
like, she like has to hide it.
Yeah.
She has to keep it low key. He like has the DVR recordings, and he invites her to watch. And she says she's not interested, but she comes anyways.
For
That
support.
type of character.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just here because you're here. I'm not here to watch the specials. When I was watching the special of her drinking and eating the sushi, she's like, that's my girl.
It's too much. You can't be this into
And then
this.
the guy, the reporter's like, are you like an old man? The layers in Jujutsu Kaisen really just, it's a different level.
Every layer is funnier than the last.
It's like, you think the show is like, you come in, you're like, oh, I'm watching like this nice shonen, I heard it's like really high quality. And then you're like, oh man, these fight scenes are really good. But then you break it down and you're like, how much layers actually? Like, this guy's like, not only like the action good, but the author's like funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's legitimately funny.
Yeah.
And like he has these breaks in the story to show his humor, and then he just goes back like it never happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's that flip flop which makes it so good.
Yeah, it's a really good mixture of like a bunch of different genres.
Can't wait for the isekai genre.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think that was it. So, let's see what else we have.
I think that covers everything.
We got Death Note.
You got Death Note. How was Death Note?
Yeah, Death Note. So yeah, I started watching Death Note. Finished episode 16 earlier
How you
today.
enjoying?
It's good. It's good.
Are you watching sub or dub?
Dub.
They're both good, so.
Yeah. I've started watching more dub stuff recently because I've literally only watched sub forever. And
I highly recommend, actually. I highly recommend watching Konosuba dub.
no super dubs. Okay. I may have when I originally watched it. I don't remember.
Because I'll be honest, I was a sub watcher. I saw the Konosuba dub came out. It was me, my bro, Wahi. All 3 of us watched it dub in one day. Season 1.
Wow.
I kid you not, the jokes translate so well.
Sure.
and the voice actors do a wonderful job. And people who say dub is dead, I think they're just not watching the right dubs.
No. I feel like, who cares?
I feel like
You know?
Jujutsu Kaisen will translate properly to a dub as well.
Yeah. I feel like maybe like super Japanese shows, may not translate well, but like, I feel like nowadays dub
You
is.
can mostly find it work, right?
Yeah, and like, if you like dub, just watch it, Like, I don't know. I feel like back in the day that was like a big thing, where it's like dub wasn't good.
I mean, like, the thing is, like, you got, like, 90s anime was, like, a really good time for a dub. It was, like, modeled in that thousands to tens era,
Yeah.
where you really got, like, bad dubs coming in. Or, like, bad dubs,
Mm-hmm.
quotation marks. Where, like, it ends up muddled, you don't really know what to go from. And after, I guess now we're, like, in a resurgence of dub.
Yeah. I think that has to do with anime just becoming more and more popular. But then there's people who don't want to read subtitles. So then you have to make good quality dubs. So
And, like, as long as things like Netflix and Crunchyroll keep growing, the dub quality's gonna keep getting, hopefully, increasing, you hope.
Did you know that Sony bought Crunchyroll?
I did see that.
Yeah. And Sony owns Funimation, so now Funimation and Crunchyroll are the same thing.
Yeah.
Crazy. Monopolies, man. You know what I mean?
It could be like that. But I will be honest, smart on Sony for realizing anime is like a big industry.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, Death Note. So yeah, I got a few things there. One, don't like that main character's name is Light. Another main character's name is L. Didn't like that.
Light Yagami?
No, I like Light. Yeah, I just don't like that. There's two characters that have L.
With L's?
Don't like it. It's confusing. And then Light's name is Kira. Well, it's not really Kira, but like Kira. And I'm like, what? Was just so many names? It's just so confusing.
Yeah, you gotta keep track of them, don't you?
I do like, because so Death Note, right? A show, very popular show. Never seen it, and so I never really knew what kind of show it was. I mean, I knew about like what the Death Note was and all that, but like, what's the show really, right? And I do like how it is like, it's like a battle of wits, basically, between Light and L, and I like that. That's cool. How they're trying to outsmart each other and like they are in each other's heads, and I even like how there's a lot of shows, not just anime, right, where they do kind of play on this idea, two people trying to outsmart each other, right? But a lot of other shows are too convenient. So it's like every realization that one character makes about the other one is always right, which doesn't make sense. It's like no matter how good you are, you're gonna be wrong because you don't have the context. We as the viewer, we have all the context, right? And so I do like watching the show, and like there are assumptions that Light makes or assumptions that L makes, and they're just straight up wrong, and we know they're wrong because we know, and I do like that part of it too, because it actually feels like they're each.
It feels more real and grounded, right?
Yeah, and they're actually trying to figure stuff out, whereas it's just, oh, well, we told the viewer that this is this, so now Light knows about it. It's like, no, we actually watch him figure it out, Yeah, going forward, let's see what else we got.
You see the tennis game as yet?
Did see the tennis game. Yep.
Okay.
The tennis game was cool. They were going crazy at each other. Light did win.
Yeah. Again, showing that L's no slouch. Like, this man, you think he's like, burning his time inside.
Yeah.
L's like actually a savage.
L is a savage. He yeah. I thought that was great because we got to a scene because we got all the way to that other girl with the Shinigami.
Oh, her Death Note.
Yeah, she's here. And just one scene, it just stuck out to me because I watched it, this morning, was
like she can see when people die.
Yeah, because she cut half her lifespan to get the eyes, which Light hasn't done that because that's crazy.
Light wants to live as long as possible.
Yeah,
Smart.
Yeah. Because he actually has like a mission, right? Whereas the girl I don't really think does.
Well, she's like what? She's like a fanatic for Kira.
Right, yeah, because her parents are like awful to her, and then Kira.
Yeah, so she doesn't mind cutting her lifespan if it means to help Kira with his mission.
Yeah. Yeah, we did get that far. Where I'm at right now, so I can put a cap on it for you, so that you know exactly exactly what to talk about and everything. Is she gave up her death note. Light also just gave up his death note, because he's locked in the cell. He like turned himself in, basically. I don't remember what his plan is. I know he explained it, but I just don't remember it. Gave up his death note, so he like lost all the memories associated with his death note. So he's locked up. She's still locked up. The dad is locked up. But I think he chose to be locked up because he was like, if my son is Kira, then I just don't want to be part of this case. I can't do this. And then I think they said something like, oh well, you know too much, so you're not like in jail, but like you can't really go anywhere right now.
Yeah, I know where you are. This just shows how big brain Light is.
Yeah.
Like he gives up the death note on purpose to lose his memories, and he has a way for him to get it back.
Yeah, so I don't remember what his plan is. Like, I assume he's gonna get the death note back, because from my perspective, right? Again, I don't know what happens. Never seen the show. I don't know any spoilers either. I somehow avoided that, or I just forgot all of them.
How can you have a show called Death Note without the death note?
Yeah, and so episode 16, we're under halfway through the show. Can't imagine we go another 21 episodes without the death note. Can't imagine it, right? I mean, maybe he gets someone else's death note, because obviously there's a bunch of different Shinigami. Maybe he gets his own back. I'm not sure how that's even possible. Again, I don't remember exactly what his plan was, because if you give the death note, Shinigami's gone. Like, he's probably left. I can't imagine he's sticking around. Maybe he is. I don't remember the Shinigami's name. I think it's like Ruko or something like that.
Oh gosh, I remember how the ending differs in the anime and manga, dude.
Yeah. Was it
the manga ending is much more savage.
Sure, okay.
It's a small change, but it's like it definitely changes how you view it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very minor change. People would argue it matters more.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the manga ending than the anime. I've seen both, but I just prefer the manga one. It just outlines what Death Note really was since the beginning, compared to the way the anime has it end.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just from my experience too, that happens a lot of the time. Manga and anime are different.
Not calling the anime ending bad, but I'm saying it's different, but the manga just hits differently. The one time I can actually say the anime ending made me feel some type of way was Parasite, where they slightly changed it.
Parasite was good, yeah.
And I'm like, I actually like the anime one more. It was one of the rare times where I enjoyed it more. I think Parasite was adapted wonderfully as well.
Parasite was one of those shows.
Did not look as good.
It was one of those shows that I wished had more. I wish there was another season to it. Even like if it wasn't about him or anything, if it was just like some other.
Yeah, just like a side spin-off, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that's with Parasite. It's a complete story by itself, but the world is unique. What you have there, you do so much more with that.
Yeah, I really like Death Note. I'm enjoying it. Again, I really like this whole battle between Light and Kira, not Light and Kira, L and Kira. L is a very interesting character. There's many times where I thought that maybe, because you get into Light's head all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to L, there's so many times where he does something or says something, and I'm like, is that really how he feels? You know, I think recently, past few episodes, he said how he feels that Light is his best friend, right? Yeah, he hasn't had a real friend in years. One of my best friends, love hanging out with you. We should play tennis again, right? Then I hear that and I'm like, does he really feel that way? And even if he does, did he say that intentionally to get some sort of reaction from Light, or to make Light feel a little safer? Because obviously, when you jump back at the Light's head, he's like, dude, L, got him. You know, what L loves me, right? It's just stuff like that.
It's like everyone's thinking like 20 steps ahead, but they don't think about the other steps in between too much.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it was the whole like him losing his memory thing. 2 weeks finally passed and a bunch of people just died. Right? So that's like kind of, I think maybe part of Light's plan was to say, hey, people just died. I've been in here, solitary confinement. So there's no way I would even know these people's names. But while some of the officers and now the dad are like, hey, so my son, he's good now. As of right now, L is still keeping Light contained, and he didn't tell Light about that. He didn't tell Light that, hey, 2 weeks worth of people just died. L actually seems a little confused right now. That's kind of how the episode ended, of him being confused, of him questioning Light again about this and being like, it's been 2 weeks, no one has died yet, what do you have to say to this? And he also questioned the girl again, who's Kira, what are you doing, that kind of thing. She doesn't know, because again, she doesn't know anything. And it kind of ended with literally L in his own head being like, I'm so confused right now. So that's literally what he said.
It's like, they'll explain it. It's fine if I say it, because you're going to get there.
Okay.
He scheduled deaths. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, he has everything scheduled, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Which they don't know, like L and them, they don't know for a fact that he can do that he can schedule them ahead. Which again, I do remember the scene where I think it was like for like a week straight or something. He was just writing names in the death note, and I think the like Shinigami was like, what are you doing, man? Let's go do something. You just been writing in the death note for a week, Also, a very funny thing. I don't know if this will matter at all, like on a real, like have real impact on the plot, but, and I don't know if it's every Shinigami, but like just him needing apples is very funny.
Ryuk's kind of like one of the better characters to look at.
Yeah, he's good.
He has no, like, he views humans of like playthings, right?
Oh yeah.
So when he comes down here, he's like, you're very entertaining, you're not averse to death, you're fine killing people. Let me watch you for a bit and see how exciting your life will be. All you gotta do is keep feeding me apples.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost like a viewer, because like there's so many times where something will happen, and then he'll like talk to Light and be like, "Ooh, you didn't see that coming, did you?" It's just so funny. His like little comments.
That's the best way to view it. Ryuk's like a viewer. You know what I mean? Who's like looking on, but he doesn't see things like the way we do. He sees them as like a god of death, but he doesn't view it like that human mind,
Well, yeah, because that's like the whole setup of the show, right? Is that he gave the death note because he was bored.
Yeah.
He's
like, I dropped it into the human world. You picked it up, so I'm following you now. It's great. It's good.
Yeah, it's a good show. I'm excited.
You're gonna like the wild ride.
Yeah, I'm excited to finish it. I mean, I'll probably finish it maybe by the time we record again, I assume, because it's only, what did I say, like 20 episodes? 20 episodes left?
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you like that type of like stuff, that mystery and like that build-up, you would definitely love Monster. Monster's kind of long though.
Monster. Yeah, it's like 70, 74, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you like that type of build-up and like getting into like people's heads with like those big ideas, that Monster kind of really builds on that as well. It's not like as I guess action-packed as Death Note is.
Sure.
Because Monster gets more psychological with it, or like pulled out and drone.
Like, is Monster more like real? Where's like Death Note?
More of a mystery. Like that's more like a killer versus a cop versus killer type of thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, who's gonna like get who first? Who's playing around? Who's gonna win like that? Monster is something similar, but it gets more into like psychology and like building it up, and then this entire big arc or like what's really happening. But it's also more grounded, There's nothing like supernatural going on there. It's all pretty laced in reality.
Okay. Yeah, it is. Monster is actually on my list. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I do want to get to it at some point. Yeah, that sounds good, man. I think all we have left, Ray, is that I mentioned it to you before the episode started, but did make another bracket. Start doing that again because that was fun, and we just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Actually, do you I won't get it. I was gonna, never mind, doesn't matter. I was gonna show off the bracket. Like I said, I don't have it because my iPad is doing a software update, and that'll take like 7 hours. But I can. Let me send you the episodes that I picked, so I can at least do that, and then I'll read them off for everyone as well. Do this. But yeah, so doing a bracket, which if you don't know, if you weren't past listener, we used to do brackets where we would pick some stuff, right? Put them in a tournament style thing. We watch a few of them at a time, and debate which one's better, and then in the end we'd have a winner, right? Do you remember
I forgot what the first SpongeBob bracket winner was.
Oh man, I was literally just about to ask you that. I don't remember, but the only thing I do remember is that it was one that we wouldn't have guessed going into it.
It was one that we wouldn't have guessed, but then we just kept being like, "This episode's so good. Like, how did it go Loki?
Yeah,
rise above the rest?"
Because I think like one of our winners would have been like going into it would have said like, oh, like pizza delivery, right?
Yeah,
like that
we
one.
both thought Krusty Krab Pizza is like a really top episode.
Yeah, like
and
that.
It is a good episode.
Okay, so here's the list, right? Again, don't have it in a bracket, but I did make a bracket for this. Yeah, so basically the episodes are gonna be, so I figure, let everyone know what the episodes are, and then next week we can, or I guess this week we can start it.
Okay. Let me go take a look and see Untitled and Unfocused on YouTube and see if I can find the winner.
Sure. So while Ray's doing that, I will just read out what all the episodes are that I picked, and basically there's like 40 something episodes in season 2. Kind of tough to pick just 16 of them to put into a bracket because
I forget how oh my gosh,
they're all really good.
Do you update the playlist every time too?
Nope, I haven't updated. Listen, Ray, I've been meaning to do like a nice little cleanup, nice little polish of all of our stuff. Haven't done it yet, to make everything nice and neat. I'll do that at some point.
I really forgot what it started with. I'm looking through this. How did we get through 53 episodes? I mean, that's when we were splitting it up, of course.
Yeah, it's not really 53. It's more like 30 or so.
Because I'll look through here, like the first 7 episodes are all like the raw and cut. That's us doing it.
Yeah.
First of all, I love that we can tell like what all of them are, because I can just go through the titles for like these ones right here. It's you get all my alt accounts for episode 1.
Yeah, okay.
Already up there. Corn has no nutritional value, so I can already tell you what that one is.
Yep.
Sasuke plus Itachi equals Kun.
Yep, that was a tower guy.
Episode 4, we laugh at Haru's pain, so
Oh, man, we're getting into the lore.
Mufasa is Thor.
Okay.
A rant about Akira, so we already know we touched on that one as well.
Kira, yeah.
2 burgers, 2 receipts.
Burgers, 2 receipts.
Was I forgot what that one's referring to.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. That was the Pelletier story of how he came home and he had to have separate receipts so that his wife wouldn't know.
I hate that we put him on blast though, but it's he'll never find this, right?
I hope he does.
Alright, let me check real quick and get the Untitled Unfocused. I'm going through. It's season 1 tournament final round.
Yep. Yeah, because we did do a tournament and everything, and yeah, no, I know at the end of that we capped it off with like watching the movie, which is pretty cool. The movie still a really good movie, that first one there.
Yo, we really did a lot, dude. Like American Tail.
We
Oh
did do
man,
American Tail, yeah.
just bashing American Tail. We got to get back on Dragon Prince, actually.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know when we would do it, like when we would fit it in, you know?
You know, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Great movie.
Rent a
Fantastic.
Rent a Girlfriend was actually enjoyable.
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't amazing.
Better Cells Work Black.
Oh my god. I don't know if we could ever pick something that we'd like less than Cells That Work Black.
It's not even like, again, it's not even like bad. This is the problem with it. It's just
It's
boring.
boring. It wasn't a bad show, it was a boring show.
Okay. Yeah, so like we were missing, I guess, from The Promise. We did Simpsons Treehouse of Horror.
What was The
Mars
Promise?
Obsession. What was Mars Obsession? Oh, Mars Obsession was going into detail regarding Ray Bradbury. Worst Smash Bros. Character. Okay, don't censor our cartoons. I don't even know what the concept for censoring was. Was that like Disney? Or like Warner Brothers talking about Looney Tunes?
Oh yeah,
Or
because
like Fantasia?
yeah, it was more Disney. That was around the time when Disney Plus was starting up, and they were like censoring some of their old cartoons, or some of their old movies and stuff like that.
Who watched the Tangerine Bear? So you already know that's like a heavy hitter.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're getting more recent. You're flying through 'em.
Yeah. Buy more cards. Real
Yep.
Steel Audition. Well, now we really know where it is now.
Classic.
The
Modern day classic.
Bo Fever Dream.
So many views. Why does that have so many views?
G Unit Drums, which
Finally made it in
doesn't
there.
get better than that. Nostalgia Reboot and then Nintendo Switch
It's good.
with a Y.
Yep. So did you ever find out? You went through all those. Did you? Did you find the winner? Right?
I found it here, but I'm trying to listen to see if I can find the winner.
Okay. I feel like let me just skip to the end. I'm trying to think of what the winner would be, because it would definitely be something that at first we didn't know, or we didn't predict. I feel like I really liked. What was the one episode when SpongeBob and Squidward were like fighting over like Employee of the Month? Was that just the name of the episode, Employee of the Month? Really like that one. I think one of them that we would have guessed was what was that? The one where SpongeBob was a criminal. That's probably one. At some point, Ray's gonna figure out what the winner was, and then we can. I feel like if I still had the file, that would help. Because I did make the bracket, but I don't think I have it anymore.
Okay.
Did you figure it out? Ray just can't
Okay,
get through this.
so I got it. I'm so good. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so it was neck and neck between Hall Monitor and Employee of the Month.
Ah, the two episodes I literally just mentioned.
Okay. And we gave it to Hall Monitor.
Hall Monitor is a good episode, man.
We didn't expect Hall Monitor to be the #1 episode from season 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's.
Employee of the Month, I remember we just talked about it when I heard it. You were like, this is like Employee of the Month, like this is it, and you're like, this is Hall Monitor.
Yeah.
They're touching.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is like, you know, this is the level of good it is, you know? It's like, it's so close, but you went with Hall Monitor.
Yeah. I had to do it. I definitely feel like we're gonna have a lot of moments here, Ray, where I think season 2 is harder. It's gonna be harder to beat than season 1, because again, I'm gonna run through the episodes real quick for everyone because they can't
I'm
see
looking
it.
through all these. Like, these are iconic ones. Like, first of all, I'm a big fan of the first one. I'm a big fan of Dying for Pie.
Yeah,
It's
Dying for
good.
Pie.
Imitation Crabs,
Mhm.
Survival of the Idiots, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3. I forget Pressure. I don't know based on the name. When I watch it, I'll find out. Shanghai, no doubt. Welcome to the Chum Bucket, Frankendoodle, good times. Band Geeks, don't remember based on the name. I'll watch the episode and remember. Graveyard Shift, remember. Procrastination, remember. Sailor Mouth, I don't remember Artist Unknown based on the name. Fry Cook Games, yeah. Squid on Strike, yeah. Sandy, SpongeBob, and the Worm, yeah. That all.
Yeah.
So I remember most of these episodes by name, but when I watch them, I'll go back and see what I.
This is gonna be difficult. Right?
There.
This is gonna be difficult.
Again, I think we know, big fan for Dying for Pie.
Dying for Pie.
If I were to pick one immediately off the top, I think Dying for Pie would be my number one. Second, I would like to give to maybe Procrastination or Graveyard Shift.
Okay.
For what I would think coming in there.
So my top 3, coming right off of it. Shanghai. Love Shanghai.
Shanghai's pretty good. Shanghai's good.
Probably Band Geeks.
Okay. I don't remember Band Geeks, so I can't talk
Which
about
is
it.
crazy to me because, I mean, it's not a spoiler because you've seen the episode, but I don't want to tell you what Band Geeks is because you definitely know what Band Geeks is.
When I watch the episode, I'll remember Band Geeks. You know what I mean? That's how it is in SpongeBob. When you watch the older episodes, you remember them.
And they're probably Fry Cook Games. I really like the Fry Cook Games episode.
Fry Cook Games was good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
I do like that we just did that though because like last bracket, I'm interested to see what actually wins. If it's any of the 6 episodes we just named.
Well, let's see here. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I'll the tournament arc. I mean, I'll send it to you, Ray, after the episode, and I'll probably tweet it out. So just go look on there, and you can see an image. I mean, next episode I'll be able to show it to you. I'll just point it at the camera, and you can see it. But yeah, we'll do that, and we'll probably just do like we did last time. We'll do 4 at a time, so it'll take us 4 weeks to finish. And yeah, nice little segment there. And then I do have a bunch of ideas for other brackets, not just episodes of stuff. More, kind of more like a mixture of different things. But yeah. What are you looking up right now, Ray? You doing some scheming over there? Doing some.
I was just right there. It's fine. So yeah. But yeah. I'm down. What we should do actually, we should write our predictions down now and see if they're different, because we're gonna forget about it.
You know what we could do?
I'm writing right here.
How familiar are you with college basketball, Ray?
I know the brackets, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Season 2. You gotta. This is mine right here, so I'll type them out.
So what I was gonna recommend as you're doing that right now, I was gonna recommend, because in a big thing in college basketball is that people will fill out brackets as their predictions, and they'll say, okay, I think these are gonna win, this gonna win, this gonna win, and they'll literally fill out the bracket as if like what they think is gonna happen over time. So if you'd like, instead of just picking like what we think the winner's gonna be, each of us could fill out the bracket and say we think this is how it's gonna go, with obviously this winner being the winner that we think. We do that.
Yeah. That's it though. Yeah.
Yep.
You know that. Yeah. What was it? I think we talked about this. Is actually something that was known. I'll talk about it. I think it's brought up whenever there's a bracket and myself here.
Mm-hmm.
But I congratulate myself so much on. It was during the World Cup when they were having that, on making the bracket for like the teams that were like in the World Cup. And I congratulated myself for my bracket being almost perfect.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And I literally almost got it correct, and I screwed up because I did not take into mind what an injury could do to a player and how that would affect the rest of my bracket.
Yeah.
I told you my prediction. It was like Argentina was supposed to win the cup. And it was like something like Germany and Brazil and like the different teams there. Because I forget the way.
I mean, that's unfortunate, but like, an injury is not really something you can predict, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah. So, like, I tried, like, the bracket was perfect. I was like, this in like, but then the moment the guy got injured, I had to change my bracket. But you can't like unsubmit the bracket once you do it, right? You're like, that's it. So then I was like, okay. So I told everyone this is what it would be. I don't know if anyone believed me at the time or anyone was listening, because everyone else was doing their brackets as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't change your bracket after you submit it. That's what it's like. So I guess that's what it's gonna be, right? I guess. I hope my brackets are gonna. I hope it's right, but I can't. It's not easy for me to predict this. Also, I tell you, I have very little knowledge of football.
Sure.
Or soccer. So I think I fluked or lucked out, because that was also when I was looking into the players and the teams. Rayman have his spreadsheet open. it's like yes, these are. Was it Buffett doing the tournament for like the bracket? I forgot who was doing it.
Probably.
It's like I was so close to greatness. It could have happened, Tyler.
Could have happened, yeah. That would have been.
But then my second predicted
cool.
bracket was right, because it's brain dead once you get there.
Yeah.
It's like guy gets injured, but they still won the match. But that doesn't mean he's winning the next match. They're gonna lose the match because now he got injured like third quarter or something like that. So it's like, so they were still able to win. But like you're telling me for an entire match he's gonna be out? Nah, they're not even putting him in play in the game. He's out of the game. I thought about it too hard.
I mean, yeah, that's what you gotta do with brackets, though, right? You gotta be thorough.
You don't ever count injuries, though.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do that.
It's like, I want to see someone make a football bracket and be like, now my man's gonna get concussed by this time here. So we gotta like.
That's gonna be the swing of things.
So like when he gets concussed around this time, it's gonna move it this way. It was like I was playing Moneyball, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I got the spreadsheets open. I'm like, these are just the reviews. It's like every time they go this way, they win. It's like gotta go this way.
The weather has to be right.
It's like we're watching in class. It's like, what are you doing? It's like watching.
No, I've got it. Making all the brain.
It's like
big brain.
It's like why is everyone on the World Cup in the library? You're supposed to be writing your papers.
Nothing's more important than
Game's
the World
on.
Cup.
The game's on. The only reason I was watching is because I made the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, is that?
I only made the bracket because they said it was like $1 million or something. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, what does it say? Wasn't there like a prize for that? You get it right.
Yeah. It was tax free.
Oh man.
That's the joke they always make, right? It's like tax free. My rent is tax free.
What is?
My rent is tax free.
Oh, rent is tax.
I don't rent. Sorry.
Sure.
I'm a shut-in. I don't leave my house. That is a lie.
Yeah.
I'm only a shut-in because of the pandemic. There we go.
It's like one of those things that's like, am I? Definitely because of the pandemic.
I mean, I would rather not go out, but I will go out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
If it was asked upon me, or I would introduce the idea of going out, I would go out. That's it, though. Season 2 SpongeBob.
Season 2, yeah. I'm excited for it.
Let me see if I can make a bracket, actually.
I have a bracket made, Ray.
You already have a bracket
maker?
maker?
I have one. No, I'm good. I made one. It looks pretty.
You already made the bracket.
I can't show it to you because it's only on my iPad. And my iPad is updating, and Apple updates take 9 hours for some reason.
Okay.
So I can't show it to you because it's useless.
I like that the time is increasing every time you bring it up.
14 hours to finish, Ray.
It's gonna take a week for this update.
we're gonna get to next week's episode and it's like it's still like 2 weeks out.
Just love it, dude.
But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so SpongeBob bracket. Make sure to watch the first 4 episodes that we named. And then what is it? It's 9 and 10 of To Eternity and Tokyo Revengers, gearing towards the end. Episode 2 of Loki, and that's all the homework, right?
That's really all there's, as well as the SpongeBob. That's
yeah,
it.
the SpongeBob. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably finish Death Note, so if anyone out there still in the middle of Death Note, you should finish it before next time.
Yeah. Surprisingly, a jam-packed episode. We were able to get a lot of stuff in here. We talked RWBY, Death Note, Inside,
Jujutsu
Jujutsu Kaisen. Those are things that were not included.
Yeah.
You know, for the not necessary components of the cast.
Will Ray ever watch Queen's Gambit? We'll see. You know, we'll see if it happens.
We'll see if that interrupts Seinfeld at any point.
Will we start doing Dragon Prince again? Maybe. At some point.
If we do, I'm actually excited for Dragon Prince.
Listen,
I'm actually willing to say, like, after we do the anime, I think we could just do Dragon Prince for a while. And we can bounce back on anime. That would be fine.
Yeah, we can do that.
Or, like, maybe after the tournament, we can put Dragon Prince back on. I don't know how you want to do it.
Yeah.
We're flexible now.
I mean, we could always pick, like, because you know how we do, like, 2 old shows? You just make Dragon Prince one of them. Yeah, we just do that. I don't know how long. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. Literally doesn't matter. We can just do it.
They should be like half-an-hour episodes anyway. But yeah, it still doesn't matter. It's just like an extra half an hour to like whatever we watch anyway.
Yeah.
And for the SpongeBob bracket, the good thing with the bracket for SpongeBob is that it decreases in time what you're watching.
Sure.
The biggest part of the bracket is the first day, or the first like segment. Every segment of the bracket, it decreases in size by like half.
How does that work? What do you mean?
Well, if you have like a 16 bracket, right, you have to pick 8 out of the 16 to go on. And then that your next section you have 8, right? Then you have to pick 4 out of the 8 there to go on.
But like,
you cut that in half every time exponentially.
Sure, but the way we
so, like,
do
eventually when it comes to the last one, though. Yeah, we do it differently, though. I know where we were. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you know, your bracket size is decreasing.
Yeah. Okay. No. Now.
But we break it up in blocks, though, so it's easier.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying now. Because when I was thinking of it, I was like, we don't do it that way. Because if we did, it would take us like 12 weeks to finish. No,
we do it a smarter way for our programming sake, which we block it.
Work smarter, not harder.
So we know the block is going to stay consistent every time.
Yeah.
It's broken up that way, and we can pick that one winner from the block, you know?
Yeah.
And then when it's the last one, the last block, then you're like, well, now we just got to determine who's the winner of these.
Just pick the winner, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it helps with the brackets to keep notes.
Oh, yeah.
At least with this bracket, too. Season 2 or Season 3 of SpongeBob is kind of when it starts getting tough. To start the series. Season 1, they're still trying to find their edge.
Season 1 still just classics upon classics.
Yeah, you got fun.
I think that fun wasn't the future episode in season 1 or no?
I don't remember. Fun was definitely one of the ones we had there, and like we definitely talked about. Again, the Krusty Krab pizza was in our episode. We had definitely had big contention for
pizza. Yeah.
And that's why the surprise when it got to the two that we just mentioned again.
Bubble stand.
Being there are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, because those just weren't two that we thought of in the beginning, that we thought were gonna win. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff ahead, Ray. I don't got nothing else. I'm good.
I'm all set too. That seems like it's everything.
What? What are you talking about?
That's everything I got as well. I don't really have anything else to go over.
Okay.
Just excited for next week.
Yeah.
Again, like I think the best part about Marvel too coming back, at least in our schedule, is that every episode, builds up to that nice larger thing. Hopefully, as it goes on, At least with WandaVision, it was I just got binged everything out too. But with Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier, Captain Falcon. Falcon and Winter Soldier, yeah, we were able to touch on at least every episode piece by piece.
Mm-hmm.
It felt nice that way, gradual growth moving towards that ending. It was good.
Yeah.
We'll get a similar thing here with Loki.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Make sure to watch everything, everyone. Have a good time next week.
Subscribe.
Ooh. Hit the bell. Is it still a bell?
If you want to get notifications, it's still a bell.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys want to get notifications. The channel's we're not really uploading often enough.
Nah,
or maybe that's actually a better reason to hit the bell so you know exactly when we do upload.
Yeah.
So actually, hit the bell, but don't subscribe.
Ooh, I don't. See, Ray, I don't feel like that's.
See, it's a trick question because they have to subscribe to hit the bell.
Oh, okay. We'll just cut that part out so we don't say anything.
Okay, so you have to subscribe to hit the bell. So subscribe if you want to hear more. Hit the bell so you keep on top because we have a regular upload schedule. Because lives are messy.
What you should do.
It never goes out the way you want it to be.
You should do. Create a bunch of accounts, and then subscribe with all of them. That's what you should do.
You mean all my alt accounts?
Oh, what? Classic.
Bringing that one back.
Have we been going long enough where we can actually bring back the old moments?
Apparently, there's over 50 episodes, but again, that's incorrect. We just cut up episodes.
Yeah.
They were just cut up really into segments to make them nicer and easy to digest. But we can bring it back. It's been that long.
Guys, do you remember when Ray auditioned to be in Real Steel?
I don't think that will ever be forgotten.
Such a good moment, man. So good.
It's the reality situation is that I think the beauty of it was you not knowing whether it was the bit or not.
I really didn't know. We were 5 minutes into that story, and I was like, "Wow, Ray's really improvising right now."
Let me see when that came out. Maybe we should do a 1-year anniversary.
Sure. Oh, when is
also,
our 1
the
year?
first episode's 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yo, we're already over a year, dude.
Of this podcast? When did it
started
start?
in May 2020.
Oh wow, yeah, over a year.
It's already June. We've already passed a year.
Crazy. Really?
Time flies.
That
we're not gonna have a year in review. That's kind of whack. It's already June.
Yeah, no, that's stupid.
Wait, there's not much we can really review.
No, yeah, that's dumb. We're not gonna do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Oh, real quick before this ends, Ray. Any video game stuff that's got you hyped since we're in the middle of E3 right now? Any announcements that you've seen?
I'm a big fan of Doki Doki Literature Plus.
Yeah.
Big fan of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Big fan of Mario and Rabbids 2.
Yep. Was Heroes, Spark of Heroes.
Yeah. Anything else? Those are all the big ones I know. I didn't really see what else was that RWBY presentation. E3's right now, so I don't know what else is being shown. Could have been on this podcast.
The like Xbox and Bethesda presentation probably just wrapped up. I gotta watch that. Real quick, Ray, you know what you should watch? Devolver Digital did their showcase. It's like 30 minutes long. It is the best showcase that's happened so far.
Devolver makes good games, dude. I actually kind of want to know.
You should definitely watch that showcase because it is ridiculous. Yeah. I was curious. Yeah, Elden Ring came out, or didn't come out, but was announced and all that, so that was pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, watch all the stuff, everyone. We'll have a good time next week, and yeah, we will see you later next week, hopefully. Yeah. I'm gonna stop here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. See you next week, viewers. A little hearts.
Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, never mind. It won't work. I was gonna try to do like a heart thing on the screen, but the way we see it right now isn't like the actual. I mean, we can. Let's see if we can. I mean, I feel like that's probably like it doesn't matter because the way the format is, that literally doesn't make sense to them.
Okay.
Okay, anyway.